Good morning to you. Kathy was here a half an hour early. That's Kathy. Always on time. Always on time. Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you're good. I'm Lolo. This is Wake and Bake with Lolo. We're a little early because, shit's starting early, so here we are. But it's great to see everyone. I'm just trying to make sure everything is pathetic on the sound. All right. So far, so good. Good morning. Hi, Lee. I know Kathy was up early or late. I don't know. Depends. I mean, 8:30 is probably late, if you're on the East Coast. I don't know. I feel like you guys would get up earlier, but hey, girl, how you doing? It's so nice to see you. I miss you. I've been thinking about sitting outside by the pool. Meowing Star, good morning. How are you? How are you, dear friend? Good to see you. Good to see you check in. Be here. Oh my god. Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong place. There I am. Oh, that's better. Wow. I was stuck on Saturday night. Hey, Pepper, Saltina, yeah. Well, I've already heard the dulcet tones of Tammy Faye Rumsfeld's terrible voice, because if you remember, Tammy Faye Rumsfeld, that's not her real name. Her real name is Tammy Bruce. She was the spokesperson for Foggy this morning, yeah. The pool is still open. Girl. It sounds like so much fun. Oh my god, I can't imagine it. You woke up from a bad nightmare, probably won't be chatty. No problem. Oh, Meowing Star, that is the most disturbing feeling when you have a very terrible and realistic or terrible and otherwise nightmare and you wake up from it. Like, I totally understand that. I've done that before where it just stays with you, right? So, I understand. And anything you do is chill, so don't even worry about it. We got you. We got you. It was a foggy morning down in Michigan. It was a foggy morning by the lake. I just made that up. I don't know what it is. Let me get my little Uh-oh, she looks like she's ready to say something. Oh, maybe not. All right. Yeah. I got my coffee. Pep, you got your coffee? I got my coffee, girl. Let me tell you. I'm still a little tired. Actually, I slept really well last night. I hope everyone slept well. I know Meowing Star woke up in a terrible nightmare, which is just... God, that's the worst.
Please
feeling.
take your seats.
God, it just all feels
We are
so
going
heavy
to
and
start
real.
now.
But I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're here with me. Yesterday was a lot of fun. It was short, but it was fun. And, yeah, I don't remember really. Is there a topic for this assembly? Oh, well, I'm not sure what the general I know what you mean. Like, they have a general. Let me see if I can find out what that is. Hey.
Good morning.
Here we go. The
Good
theme
morning,
is
heads of states,
Better Together,
Excellencies,
80 years and more
dear
for peace,
guests,
development, and
people
human rights.
watching from home.
Hey, lady, your mic
The
is not
fourth
on.
plenary meeting of the General Assembly
Or
is called
actually,
to
maybe it
order.
is. Oh, it is, and I just can't hear.
After our intense Monday,
Any
today
problem.
starts the general debate of the 80th session. Before proceeding to the general debate, the Assembly will hear an introduction by Secretary General of his annual report on the work of the organization. Under Agenda Item 110, in accordance with Resolution 51/241 of 31st July 1997. Please take your seat. I now give the floor to the Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Antonio Guterres.
Okay, the only issue right now is I can't hear it, but I'm going to work on that silently while you guys enjoy. All right, you can't hear him. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me fix this. I don't know why. I hate everybody. Okay, hold on. We'll get it fixed. We're gonna get it fixed. Yeah. That's not working. Why was it working a minute ago? Oh. Well,
pursue
'cause I stopped
dialogue
it.
and cooperation, and the concrete affirmation of an essential human truth. We are all in this together.
Good morning.
And this General Assembly Hall is the heartbeat of that truth. It is why for decades, world leaders have come to this one-of-a-kind podium. It is why you are here today. Because at its best, the United Nations is more than a meeting place. It's a moral compass, a force for peace and peacekeeping, a guardian of international law, a catalyst for sustainable development, a lifeline for people in crisis, a lighthouse for human rights, and a center that transforms your decisions, the decisions of member states, into action. 80 years on, we confront again the question our founders faced, only more urgent, more intertwined, more unforgiving. What kind of world do we choose to build together?
That's a good one. How many Bidens? How many Bidens?
We have our work cut out for us, as our ability to carry out that work is being cut from us. We have entered in an age of reckless disruption and relentless human suffering. Look around. The principles of the United Nations that you have established are under siege. Listen, the pillars of peace and progress are buckling under the weight of impunity, inequality,
Lee,
and
Meowing
indifference.
Star, Pepper, Saltina,
Sovereign nations,
Carrie,
invading.
J-Ran. Dance, Karen,
hunger,
Maxie,
weaponized, truth,
Jim, Meowing
silence,
Star,
rising smoke
and I
from
think I got
bombed-out
everybody.
cities,
Kathy.
rising anger in fractured societies, rising seas swallowing coastlines. Each one a warning, each one a question. What kind of world will we choose? A world of raw power or a world of laws? A world that is a scramble for self-interest or a
Karen, do you
world where
have
nations
a bingo
come
dabber,
together? A world
bingo
where
dabber
might
problem?
makes right or a world of rights for all? Excellencies, our world is becoming increasingly multipolar, and this is positive, reflecting a more diverse, dynamic global
Max, did
landscape.
someone pass?
But multipolarity without effective multilateral institutions can court chaos, as Europe has learned the hard way, resulting in World War I. It was multipolar, but there was no multilateral institutions. So let's be clear. International cooperation is not naivete. It is hard-headed pragmatism. In a world where there's leap borders, isolation is an illusion. No country can stop a pandemic alone. No army can halt rising temperatures. No algorithm can rebuild trust once it is broken.
I get it.
These are global stress tests of our system, our solidarity, and our resolve. I'm convinced we can pass these tests, and we must. Because people everywhere are demanding something better, and we owe them a system worthy of their trust and a future worthy of their dreams. And so we must make the choice, an active choice, to reaffirm the imperative of international law, to reassert the centrality of multilateralism, to reinforce justice and human rights, and to recommit to the principles that gave rise to our organization, and to the promise contained in its first words, we the peoples. Excellencies, the choices we face are not part of an ideological debate. They are a matter of life and death for millions. As I scan the global landscape, we must make 5 critical choices. First, we must choose peace rooted in international law. Peace is our first obligation. Yet today, wars rage with a barbarity we vowed never to allow. Too often, the Charter is brandished when convenient and trampled when not. But the Charter is not optional. It is our foundation. And when the foundation cracks, everything built upon fractures.
That's right.
Around the world, we see countries acting as if the rules don't apply to them. We see humans treated as less than human, and we must call it out. Impunity
we're the hottest country. We're so hot.
It has spawned some of the most atrocious conflicts of our times. In Sudan,
if we weren't their daughter, they'd date us.
Civilians are being slaughtered, starved, and silenced. Women and girls face unspeakable violence. There is no military solution. I urge all parties, including those in this hall, end the external support that is fueling this bloodshed. Push to protect civilians.
Name the countries, yeah, exactly.
People deserve peace,
oh, Karen,
dignity,
today's day 2 of 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of eating. I can have breakfast at 10:30, but then dinner has to be eaten by 4:30. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Does drinking water help you at all, Karen? I don't know. 9:50, but he's always late. I don't think the UN is worried about transgendered athletes, though. No, I don't think they are.
And international law.
Paying Sudan to take people Gaza, we are deporting. Oh, my God.
The horrors are approaching a third monstrous year. They are the result of decisions that defy basic humanity. The scale of death and destruction are beyond any other conflict in my years as Secretary General. The International Court of Justice has issued legally binding provisional measures in the case named application of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in the Gaza Strip. Since then, a famine has been declared and the killing has intensified.
The genocide has
The
also been
measures
declared by the
stipulated by
report
the
that your
ICJ must be
commission
implemented
released.
fully and immediately. Nothing can justify the horrific Hamas terror attacks of October 7 and the taking of hostages, both of which I have repeatedly condemned. And nothing can justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people and the systematic destruction of Gaza. We know what is needed. Permanent ceasefire now. All the hostages released now. Full humanitarian access now. And we must not relent in the only viable answer to sustainable Middle East peace, a two-state solution as so eloquently reaffirmed yesterday. We must urgently reverse dangerous trends on the ground, relentless settler expansion and violence, and the looming threat of annexation.
The murders.
Must
There's been
stop.
so many murders by the settlers in the last
From Haiti
2
to
months.
Yemen, to Myanmar and the
I
Sahel
feel like
and
I've heard
beyond.
about more in the
We
last
must
2 months than I
choose
had
peace
previously.
Anchored in international law,
It's
The
fucking
past year has
bullies,
brought
man.
glimmers
You
of hope.
can't fucking bully.
including the ceasefire between Cambodia and Thailand, and the agreement between Azerbaijan and Armenia,
I
broken by the
agree,
United
Carrie. The
States.
veto has to go. I
But
agree
far
with
too
that.
many
You have to
crises
vote. You have to
continue
be able to,
unchecked.
yeah.
Impunity prevails, lawlessness is a contagion, it invites mayhem, accelerates terror, and risks a nuclear free-for-all. When accountability shrinks, graveyards grow. When UN staff and facilities are attacked, violating legal obligations, so too is the core of our ability to serve and deliver. The Security Council must live up to its responsibilities. It must be more representative, more transparent, and more effective. Beyond crisis response, we must tackle the injustices that ignite conflict: exclusion, inequality, impunity, and corruption. The surest way to silence the guns
You missed the greatest
is to
country on
raise
earth.
the volume
No,
for
you
justice.
haven't missed anything.
Real security is born of fairness and opportunity for all.
You missed some pretty words.
Excellences, cela m'amène au deuxième
Excellences,
point.
this leads me to my
Nous devons
second point.
choisir
We
les
must
droits
choose
humains et la
human
dignité
dignity
humaine.
and human rights.
Les droits humains ne sont pas
Human
un ornement
rights
de la
are not
paix.
an
Ils
ornament
en
of
sont le
peace,
socle.
they're its bedrock.
Les droits humains, sociaux,
Human rights,
économiques,
economic,
politiques,
social,
civiques
cultural,
et
political,
culturels
and civil
sont universels,
indivisible,
et
and
interdépendants.
That second voice is coming
Choosing
over.
rights
C'est plus que des
means
paroles.
more than
C'est
words.
choisir la justice
It
plutôt
means
I don't know
choosing
why they
justice
have.
over
Okay.
C'est
silence.
préserver la
It
liberté
means
et l'espace
protecting
civique.
freedom and civic space,
Faire avancer l'égalité pour
advancing
les femmes et
equality
les
for
filles.
women and girls,
Combattre le
confronting
racisme et la
racism and
discrimination sous
discrimination
toutes leurs
in all
formes.
its forms.
Protéger les
Rights
de la
that
voix de
open
Oh my
doors
God, they're translating him
and opportunity.
on all the channels.
The Sustainable Development Goals are our shared roadmap
Fucking hell.
for achieving these rights.
Mais pour avancer sur
But
cette
in order
voie,
to make
il faut
progress
du
down this
carburant.
road, we need fuel.
Carburant, c'est le
And
financement.
that fuel is
Et nous savons ce qu'un
finance.
développement bien mené peut
We've seen
accomplir.
what development done right can
Au
deliver.
cours de la dernière
Oh,
In
okay.
the
décennie,
Now
last
he's
decade,
doing it in a
des
different way.
millions de personnes
Sorry.
Millions
supplémentaires ont
more have
accédé
gained access to
l'électricité,
electricity,
à des solutions de cuisson
clean
propre
cooking
et à
solutions,
l'Internet.
and to the
Le
internet.
mariage des enfants.
Child
But it started when the
marriage
English
is
was
in
happening.
retreat.
Représentation des femmes
Women's
avance,
representation is
mais les
growing,
coupes dans l'aide au
but cuts
développement
to aid
font des
are
ravages.
wreaking havoc.
Pour un grand nombre de personnes,
They are
elles
a death
représentent une
sentence
condamnation
for many.
à mort. Pour tant d'autres,
For so
un
many more,
avenir confisqués.
A stolen future.
C'est là tout le
This
paradoxe
is
de
the
notre
great
époque.
paradox of our time.
Nous avons les solutions,
We have the
mais nous
solutions.
siphonnons
Fuck
le
that shit,
carburant
Jim
qui
Nalgren.
nous
Fuck that
permettrait
shit.
d'avancer.
That would
Fucking,
make it possible
fucking
to make
Jared.
Choisir la
progress.
dignité, c'est
To
choisir la
choose
justice
dignity, we
financière
must choose
et la
financial
solidarité.
justice and solidarity.
Nous devons réformer
We need
l'architecture
to
financière
reform the international
internationale
financial
afin
architecture
qu'elle soit au
so that it
service du
drives
développement
development
de
for all.
toutes et de tous. Avant que des banques multilatérales
With
de
bigger
développement
and
plus grandes et
bolder
plus
multilateral
audacieuses,
development
qui
banks,
prêtent
lending more
davantage et mobilisent
and
plus de capitaux
mobilizing more
privés pour les
private
pays en
capital
développement,
for developing
avec des
countries,
mécanismes d'allègement de
with
dette plus
faster
rapides et
and
plus
fairer
justes,
debt relief
couvrant tous
mechanisms,
les pays en difficulté,
helping every country
y
in
compris
crisis,
ceux à revenus
including
intermédiaires.
middle-income countries.
Une protection des ressources nationales,
Protecting
en
natural
s'attaquant aux flux
resources
financiers
by
illicites,
tackling illicit
aux
financial
pratiques fiscales
flows and
abusives
abusive tax
qui volent aux
practices
sociétés
that rob
leur
societies
avenir.
of their future,
et des institutions
and
financières
global
mondiales à
financial
l'image du monde
institutions that
d'aujourd'hui,
represent today's
avec
world,
une
with
participation
far
bien plus
greater
forte
participation
des pays
of
en développement
developing countries
dans sa composition et ses décisions.
in terms of their composition
Alors
and
faisons
their
le choix
decision-making.
d'une
So,
économie
let
mondiale au
us
service de
choose a
toutes
global
et
economy
tous.
that works for everyone,
Faisons le
men
choix
and women.
des droits
Let
humains
us choose
et de la
human
dignité
rights and
et
dignity,
donnons-nous les moyens d'une
and
transition
let us
juste
equip
pour les
ourselves
peuples
with the
et la
means
planète.
to ensure a transition
Excelências,
for the people and the planet.
Esto nos leva a la tercera opción.
Excellencies, this brings me to the
Debemos
third
elegir la
choice.
justicia
We must
climática.
choose climate justice.
La crisis climática
The
se está
climate crisis
acelerando,
is accelerating,
pero las soluciones
but
también.
so are the solutions.
El futuro de la energía
The clean
limpia
energy
ya
future
no es una
is no
promesa
longer a
lejana,
distant promise.
ya está aquí.
It's already here.
Ningún gobierno,
No government,
industria o
industry,
interés
or special
especial
interest
puede
can
detenerlo.
stop it.
Pero algunos lo
But
están
some are
intentando,
trying,
prejudicando a las
hurting
economías,
economies,
imponiendo
locking
precios
in
más
higher
altos
prices,
y
and
desperdiciando
squandering
una
a
oportunidad
historic
histórica.
opportunity.
Excellencies, fossil fuels are a losing bet. Last year, almost all new power capacity came from renewables, and the investment is surging.
100% agree with
Renewables
all
are
of
the
it.
cheapest and
I do,
fastest
but it is
source
pretty
of new
words.
power. They create jobs, drive growth, shield economies from volatile oil and gas markets, connect the unconnected, and can free us from the tyranny of fossil fuels. But not at today's pace. Clean energy investment remains uneven. 21st century grids and storage are not rolling out fast enough. And public subsidies, taking from taxpayer money, still flow to fossil fuels over clean energy by a factor of 9 to 1. Meanwhile, emissions, temperatures, and disasters keep rising. And those least responsible suffer the most. Science says limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees by the end of this century is still possible, but the window is closing. The International Court of Justice has affirmed the legal obligation of states.
No
We
worries,
must
Karen.
step
Take
up
care, all right,
action and
sweetie?
ambition, especially through
Absolutely.
strengthened national climate plans. Tomorrow, I will welcome leaders to announce new targets.
Iced tea and lemonade.
G20,
Yum,
the biggest
yum.
emitters must lead,
Yes, that should help.
guided by common but differentiated responsibilities. But all countries must step up
I
and
love
do more
Arnold Palmer's.
as we head to the UN Climate Conference in Brazil. By accelerating action in energy, forests, methane and industrial decarbonization. By defining a credible roadmap to mobilize 1.3 trillion US dollars annually in climate finance by 2035 for developing countries. By supporting just transitions, by doubling finance for adaptation to at least 40 billion US dollars this year, and rapidly deploying proven tools to unlock billions more in concessional finance. And by capitalizing the Loss and Damage Fund with significant contributions. All of these requires government, international financial institutions, philanthropies, civil society, and the private sector to work together. To provide fiscal space to developing countries and unlock new innovative sources of finance at scale. including solidarity levies on high-emitting sectors and debt swaps. We have the solutions and tools, but we must choose climate justice and climate action. Fourth, we must choose to put technology at the service of humanity. Artificial intelligence is rewriting human existence in real time, transforming how we learn, work, communicate, and what we can trust. And the question is not how to stop it, but how to steer it for the greater good. Technology must be our servant, not our master. It must promote human rights, human dignity, and human agency. Yet today, AI's advancement in outpacing regulation and responsibility and is concentrated in a few hands. And the risks are expanding to new frontiers, from biotech to autonomous weapons. We are witnessing the rise of tools for mass surveillance, mass social control, mass disruption, and even mass destruction. Tools that can drain energy, strain ecosystems, and intensify the race for critical minerals.
This is why the UN is always under attack from billionaires and other people, by the way, just so you know.
These technologies remain largely ungoverned. We need universal guardrails and common standards across platforms. No company should be above the law. No machines should decide who lives or dies. No system should be deployed without transparency, safety, and accountability. Last month, this Assembly took a historic step, establishing an independent international scientific panel on AI and an annual global dialogue on AI governance. Two new pillars of a shared architecture, connecting science with policy to bring clarity and foresight, enabling innovation to flourish while advancing our values and our rights, and ensuring governments, companies, and civil society can help shape common norms. We must build on these mechanisms. And
Trump will brag about the 20-plus wars he's ended, especially the one between Armenia and Cambodia.
Must be able to design and develop AI, not just to consume it. I have proposed voluntary financing options to build AI computing power data and skills in developing nations. No country should be locked out of the digital future or locked into systems it cannot shape or trust. And governments must lead with vision, and companies must act with responsibility. And we, the international community, must ensure that technology lifts up humanity. So let us choose cooperation over fragmentation, ethics over expediency, and transparency over opacity. Technology will not wait for us, but we can still choose what it serves. So let us choose wisely. Fifth and finally, to meet all these goals, we must choose to strengthen the United Nations for the 21st century. The forces shaking our world are also testing the foundations of the United Nations system. We are being hit by rising geopolitical tensions and divisions, chronic uncertainty, and mounting financial strain. But those who depend on the United Nations must not be made to bear the cost, especially now, when for every dollar invested to support our core work to build peace, the world spends $750 on weapons of war. This is not only unsustainable, it is indefensible. In this moment of crisis, the United Nations has never been more essential. The world needs our unique legitimacy, our convening power, our vision to unite nations, to bridge divides and confront the challenges before us. The Pact for the Future has shown your determination to build a United Nations that is stronger, more inclusive, and more effective. That is the logic and the urgency of our UN80 initiative. We are moving swiftly and decisively. I put forward concrete proposals, a revised budget for 2026 that strengthens accountability, improves delivery, and cuts costs. Practical reforms to implement mandates more effectively and efficiently with
Hey,
greater
easily
impact.
distracted. How are
And
you,
ideas to
girl?
spark a paradigm shift in the structure of the UN and how its parts work together. Most of these decisions rest with you, the Member States, and we will move forward in full respect of the established procedures. Together, let us choose to invest in a United Nations that adapts, innovates, and is empowered to deliver for people everywhere. Excellencies, my overriding message comes down to this. Now is the time to choose. It's not enough to
Neil!
know what the right choices
You're not always
are.
late. I was just thinking about you. I
urge
was like,
to make
where's
them.
Neil? He's going to come at
I grew
6:30.
up in a world where choices were few. I was raised in the darkness of dictatorship, where fear silenced voices and hope was nearly crushed. Yet, even the bleakest hours, especially then, I discovered a truth that has never left me. Power does not reside in the hands of those who dominate or divide. Real power resides from people, from our shared resolve to uphold dignity, to defend equality, to believe fiercely in our common humanity and the potential of every human being. I learned early to persevere, to speak out, to refuse to surrender, no matter the challenge, no matter the obstacle, no matter the hour. We must and we will overcome. Because in a world of many choices, there is one choice we must never make, the choice to give up. We must never give up.
Oops.
That is my promise to you, for peace, for dignity, for justice, for humanity, for the world we know is possible when we work as one. I will never, ever give up.
It's good. It's good, Neil, darling. How are you? It's good to see you, friend. Yes, those are amazing words. I love it. I love it. He's really good. I like Gutierrez. He's really cool. Very decent. Decent human.
I thank the Secretary General. The Assembly will now turn to agenda item 8, entitled General Debate.
General debate. Okay, so I want to say a couple things. I understand, I feel like I can speak on this because I've actually worked on the ground with UN people and other things, and I can honestly say that
80 years.
these are folks that
Longer
really.
than
I'm going
the
to stop her.
average.
I really believe that the UN believes deeply in preserving humanity. And I know people at the UN. I've worked alongside people from the UN on the ground in West Africa, in Haiti. So I understand. I also understand the bureaucracy and the bloat that exists within the UN. And I understand, like both things are true. But it is so stark to me right now to listen to Guterres talk about the lofty aims of the UN, which have always been, in place, and good work has been done towards those goals. Believe me, I've seen it. But then you contrast that with just what else we're being exposed to right now, which is the greed of corporations over the rights of the people. Right? This free speech battle that doesn't matter about Jimmy Kimmel. I remember the Man Show, okay? I can't stand, I don't really like Jimmy Kimmel, but I believe in his right to whatever. So, I think this battle with free speech, battle with ICE, battle with transgender rights, battle with DEI, battle with all of those things, I just feel like there's, such a force of evil, but because they don't think they're evil, I don't think, maybe some of them do, but the other side, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't think it's evil. And I'm really trying to get in the head of that and understand how would you view some of these actions and not consider them to be, deleterious to other people, right? And yes, thank you, Gal. Good morning, love. It's a widespread assault to divide and conquer the resistance. And it's just like I feel like this is such a contrast between people who also, let me just also say that problematically, I think the UN also helps prop up billionaires and other things, right? Because it is a very wealthy organization. The diplomats are very wealthy. There's a lot of excess around the, et cetera. So there's a lot of, I can have a lot of complaints, specific complaints with the UN and its operations. And then I can say, gosh, this is the spirit with which I want governance, right? The spirit with which I want governance is truly that they look at everyone and say, how do we do for everyone, right? How do we make everyone's lives better? Because I'm going to say this again for all the chuds that may or may not be listening. For me, this isn't about my dogma winning. It's about everybody winning. It's about everyone being allowed to live their lives the way they want to live their lives without my interference, without government's interference, and without fear of existing in the world. But this regime is supporting a world where trans people are afraid to simply exist. Because if there's any clue that they're a trans person, there's a high chance that they could be harassed or attacked or worse. That's real. And so I just, gosh, I don't know what wins, right, in the end. But it is it's why it's so poignant to listen to Guterres, but also frustrating. Because you know that behind all of this is still the machine where the billionaires are making choices for the bottom line and not for people. And that's what's so disappointing. And it's funny. Yeah, exactly. See, Carrie, you just said what I was thinking. When we all do well, we all do well. Like, you can lift all boats. It's possible, right? Oh, hi, Peace Love. You can lift all boats. It's possible. And imagine, I remember singular moments, right, where maybe when stimulus was sent out to people, we were the rough economic, blah, blah, blah. And it increased consumer spending. When you give people the raw materials to build a full life, they will do that. And then it feeds itself, right? Like, that's the world I want. So if you're scared of me as a lefty, don't be, because really all I want is for you to live in peace, for me to live in peace, for my trans friends to live in peace, for people in Africa to live in peace without, being taken advantage of constantly by colonizers. Like, that's all I want. I'm not trying to make you not hate people anymore. I mean, I don't want you to hate people out in public, because frankly, nobody should do that. That's stupid. Anyway, sorry to ramble, but this is really what this stuff makes me feel like, is that I'm almost mournful when I hear Guterres' speech and others, because I can tell we're in a different moment of crisis right now around what is valued. And I don't know. I mean, I know it's never been good. I'm not saying that. I think human life has never been valued enough. But I think we're in a particularly precarious moment, I guess, for this country, maybe in particular. So that's my perspective. That's all I can really speak on. But anyway, sorry to interrupt, but here we go.
Human life. This anniversary of the United Nations should have been a moment of celebration. But this is not an ordinary year. Just look at the state of our world, as the Secretary General described. Thousands of orphans in Gaza are wandering around the rubble, eating sand, drinking contaminated water. 90-year-old women in Ukraine are hiding from drones, trapped in their homes instead of living their final years in peace. Children in Haiti, too afraid to walk to school, afraid they might be gunned down by gangs like their friends. And for every conflict and tragedy that seizes the headlines, there are so many more that are forgotten, lost to the news cycle. Like women in Democratic Republic of the Congo, shielding their daughters from armed groups, fearful they might be raped. And Rohingya children spending their whole childhood in tattered tents, unable to remember what their home looks like. Faced with these realities, now is not the time to celebrate, but to ask ourselves, where is the United Nations? Distinguished heads of state and government, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, people out there in the world watching us. Clearly, we have to do better. But what we should not let cynics allow to weaponize these failures, to argue that our institution is a waste of money.
You're right,
outdated,
Carrie, Max.
irrelevant. When the
I don't know, I haven't seen
Badger
Badger yet this morning.
Is it the UN that has failed? When tanks rolled into Ukraine, was it because Article 2 of the Charter is not clear enough about sovereignty and territorial integrity? When civilians,
She was in the stream
are killed
yesterday,
in Gaza,
so he's around.
is it humanitarian law at fault for failing to protect them? It's not the Charter which fails. It's not the UN as an institution which fails. The Charter, our Charter, is only as strong as member states' willingness to uphold it, and their willingness to hold to account those who violate it. Excellencies, yes, our world is in pain. Yes,
Loving the
we have
camera
failures.
persons on it.
But imagine how much worse would it be without the United Nations? Would a single person be better off without it? Without UNICEF, 26 million children would not have received an education. Without the World Food Programme, nearly 125 million people would have lacked life-saving food assistance. Without the World Health Organization, over 1 billion vaccines would not have been supplied. Sometimes we could have done more, but we cannot let this dishearten us. If we stop doing the right thing, evil would prevail. This 80th session is not about big celebrations. It's about finding the resolve not to give up, the resolve to be better together, just as our predecessors did 8 decades ago. This institution was born in a world on fire and desperate for reprieve. 750 million, nearly a third of humanity back then, still under colonial rule. 2 world wars in a generation, 70 million dead. The horrors of the Holocaust revealed to our collective shame. This was a generation that knew almost nothing but suffering and despair. The signing of the Charter in 1945 gave hope to millions, gave us a North Star that guided our path from the ashes of war, helped guide nations from colonial rule into independent states, helped end apartheid. Across the decades, the United Nations has been a compass pointing toward peace, humanity, and justice. We have not always succeeded, but the story of this institution is not a story of easy victories. It's a story of falling and rising, of pulling ourselves and each other back up and trying harder. We gather here for the 80th time, not for empty celebration, not out of ritual, not to hear our own voices. We gather to prove that this institution matters, and that through this institution, every nation represented here, no matter how big or small, can summon again the strength and unity first shown in San Francisco 80 years ago. The courage and resolve of world leaders who, even while some called them back then naive, believed they could build a better world from the wreckage of the old. They showed then what true leadership is. It's not about imposing your will or putting others down. True leadership is about lifting others up, not out of altruism, but for a mutual benefit, and even out of our self-interest. Because as our founders and every architect of peace since then has understood, helping others is what makes ultimately our own countries stronger. Could any state have faced the global pandemic alone? The virus did not have any passport. We were only able to solve it at the end with the support of the World Health Organization. The climate crisis does not stop at borders. CO2 emissions anywhere affect people everywhere. Even the wealthiest cities in the world cannot shield themselves from wildfires. And imagine coming here by plane. How safe would you feel to step into the next airplane if there were no International Civil Aviation Organization anymore, which is responsible for setting safety regulations for 5 billion passengers?
That hurt.
Year? How comfortable would you be with your children using the internet while AI is uncontrolled and unchecked?
Yep, make greed
As
shameful.
the lines between what is real
That's
and
right.
fake start to blur.
You know, that bearded hippie, that's right.
In this globalized, digitalized world,
Head
we
of a
work
pin or
together
something? I don't even know.
or we suffer alone.
Eye of the needle.
Excellencies, the theme of this milestone session and the high-level week is therefore better together. 80 years and more for
You're right,
peace,
Neil. I think you're right.
development, and human rights. Will living up to that be easy? No. But this hall was not built for easy times. It was built to come together to confront the hardest topics. This session is a session where the high-level week is about resolving differences.
I'm sorry.
We showed some of it yesterday already. But even the House of Dialogue and Diplomacy needs a renovation. That is why the UN80 initiative and the wider reform process are not luxuries, but necessities. We are literally now at a crossroads, a make it or break it moment, politically, financially. Therefore, we have to deliver a United Nations that is agile, cost-effective, and fit for purpose. Member States have to give the Secretary General and this process their full support, because reform
I wonder how
cannot
much
stop in
UN
New York.
funding was cut by the
It
U.S.
must carry through to every capital. That includes delivering the Pact for the Future and accelerating progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. Again, this is not about charity. It's about addressing the core purposes of this institution, about strengthening our foundations across all.
Okay. The U.S. cut approximately $1 billion in funding from key United Nations programs through a congressional rescission package. This amount was reclaimed from already authorized funds for fiscal years 24 and 25. Oh my God. They took back $1 billion in funding. Oh my God.
3 pillars.
Wow.
Peace and security, human rights, and sustainable development. They are inseparable. Leaving hundreds of millions trapped in extreme poverty, vulnerable to crisis, and denied their human rights is not only a moral failure, it's a recipe for global unrest, terrorism, and a tragic waste of humanity's greatest resource, its people. Put it simply, without the SDGs, there cannot be lasting peace. Excellencies, our future as an institution will also be shaped by the selection of the next Secretary General. And here we must pause and reflect. In nearly 80 years, this organization has never chosen a woman for that role. One might wonder how out of 4 billion potential candidates, there could not be found a single one. Of course, the choice rests with member states. But those of you having been there yesterday celebrating Beijing, one strong female leader after the other from all our continents. Like 80 years ago, we are standing at a crossroads. And it's up to us, to every single member state.
There's an article from The Guardian about the UN's funding situation from 5 days ago.
To act when action is needed, to uphold the principles of our charter, to be better together, to show the people around the world that this United Nation is there. Today, tomorrow, and for the next 8
Yeah, that's
decades.
what I heard, Jim. I wonder what's going to happen.
After all,
I guess we'll find out.
It's the life insurance for every country.
Badger! Neil, Badger's here. Badger, Neil was wondering where you were. This lady has to do everything.
Before giving the floor to the first speaker for this morning, I would like to remind member states that the list of speakers for the general debate has been established on the agreed basis that statements should be no longer than 15 minutes to enable all the speakers to be heard at a given meeting. Within this time frame, I would like to appeal to speakers to deliver their statements at a reasonable pace so that interpretation into the other official languages may be provided properly.
Hi, Jane.
I
Hi,
would
Scott.
also
How
like
you doing?
to draw your attention to the decision taken by the Assembly at previous
hope
sessions,
so.
namely that the practice of expressing congratulations inside the Assembly Hall after speech has been delivered is strongly discouraged. After delivering their statements from the rostrum, speakers are invited to exit the
You're
hall
just on
through
time.
room JA200, located behind the podium, before returning to their seats. May I take it that the Assembly agrees to proceed in this manner? It's so decided. Finally, I should like
That looks
to
like an
draw
axe.
the attention of member states that during the general debate, official photographers are in the room and will take official photographs of all speakers by the Department of Global Communications. Members interested in obtaining these photographs are requested to contact the photo library of the United Nations. By this, the Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, President of the Federative Republic of Brazil. I request the protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Senhora Presidente da Assembleia Geral,
Madam President of the General Assembly,
Annalena Barbu,
Annalena
Senhor Secretário-Geral,
Mr.
Antônio
Secretary
Guterres,
General Antonio Guterres,
caro chefe de Estado e de governo,
dear heads of state and government,
representante dos
and
Estados
representatives
membros,
of the member
aqui
states
reunidos.
gathered here.
Este
This
deveria ser um
should
momento
be
de
a
celebração das
time to
Nações
celebrate
Unidas.
the United Nations.
Criada no fim
Created
da guerra,
at the end of the
a
war,
ONU simboliza a
the
expressão
UN
mais
symbolizes
elevada
the highest
da aspiração
expression
pela paz
of the
e
aspiration
pela
for peace
prosperidade.
and prosperity.
Hoje, contudo,
Today, however,
os ideais que
the
inspiraram seus
ideals that
fundadores em São
inspired its
Francisco
founders in San
estão
Francisco
ameaçados
are
como nunca
under
estiveram
threat as
em toda a
never
sua
before
história.
in their history.
O multilateralismo
Multilateralism
está diante
is
de nova
at a new
encruzilhada.
crossroads.
A autoridade desta organização
The organization's authority
check.
is in check.
assistimos à
It's
consolidação
giving
de uma
70s
devota
Catholic Church
nacional
vibes.
International
marcada por seguidas
marked by
concessões
repeated
à política
concessions
do poder,
to power play,
atentados à soberania,
attacks on sovereignty,
sanções arbitrárias,
arbitrary
really got high
sanctions,
really fast.
intervenções
and
unilaterais
unilateral
estão se
interventions
tornando
are
regra.
becoming the rule.
Existe evidente
There
paralelo
is a clear
entre a
parallel
crise do
between
multilateralismo
Lula.
do enfraquecimento
crisis
da
and the weakening
democracia.
of democracy.
O autoritarismo se fortalece
Authoritarianism is
quando nos
strengthened
omitimos
when we
frente à
fail to
arbitrariedade.
act in the face of
Quando a
arbitrary
sociedade
acts.
internacional
When the international society
vacila na defesa da
falters
paz,
in defending
da
peace,
soberania e do
sovereignty,
direito,
and the rule
as
of law,
consequências são
the
trágicas.
consequences are
Em
tragic
todo
Sorry,
mundo,
Jane.
throughout the world.
forças antidemocráticas
Anti-democratic
tentam
forces are
subjugar
trying to
as
subjugate
instituições e
institutions
sufocar
and
as
stifle
liberdades.
freedoms.
Cultua a violência,
They worship
exalta
violence,
a ignorância,
praise ignorance,
atua como
act
milícias
as physical
físicas e
and
digitais
digital militias,
e cerceiam a
and
imprensa.
restrict the press.
Mesmo sob ataque sem
Even
precedentes,
under an
o Brasil
unprecedented
optou
attack,
por
Brazil
resistir
chose to
e
resist
defender sua
and defend its
democracia
democracy,
reconquistada há 40
regained
anos
40
pelo seu
years
povo
ago by
depois
its
de
people
2 décadas de
after
governo
2
ditatorial.
decades of dictatorial government.
Não há justificativa
There
para
is
as
no
medidas
justification for
unilaterais e
unilateral
arbitrárias
and
contra nossas
arbitrary measures
instituições e nossa
against our
economia.
institutions and our
A
economy.
agressão contra a independência do
The
Poder
aggression
Judiciário
against the
é
independence of the
inaceitável.
judiciary branch of power
Esta
is
ingerência
unacceptable.
em
This
assuntos internos
interference in domestic
conta com o
affairs
auxílio de uma
is
extrema-direita
aided by a
subserviente
subservient
e saudosa
far-right
de antigas
who is
hegemonias.
nostalgic of past
Falsos
hegemonies,
patriotas
false
arquiteta e
patriots,
promove
plan and
publicamente
publicly
Hey,
promote
Teresa.
ações contra o
actions
Brasil.
against Brazil.
Não há pacificação com
Cannot
impunidade.
be achieved with
Há poucos
impunity.
dias,
A few days
e
ago,
pela primeira
and for the
vez em
first time in
525 anos de nossa
525
história,
years of our history,
ex-chefe de
a
Estado
former head of state
foi condenado
was
por atentar
convicted
contra
of
o Estado
attacking the
democrático de
democratic
direito.
rule of law.
Foi
He
investigado,
was investigated,
indiciado e julgado
indicted, trialed,
e
and held
responsabilizado pelos
accountable
seus atos
for his
em um
actions
processo
in a
minucioso.
meticulous process.
Teve amplo direito de defesa,
He has the
prerrogativa
right to
que as
defend
Yes,
ditaduras
New York City.
negam
a
às suas
prerogative
vítimas.
that dictatorships deny to
Diante
their
dos
victims
olhos do mundo,
before the eyes of the
O Brasil
world.
deu um recado
Brazil
a todos os
sent a
candidatos
message to all
autocratas
aspiring
e aqueles que os apoiam.
autocrats and those who
Nossa
support them.
democracia
Our
e
democracy,
nossa
our
soberania
sovereignty
são
are
inegociáveis.
non-negotiable.
Seguiremos como
I love
nação
this.
independente
I love Lula.
e como povo livre.
And as
de
a people
qualquer tipo de
free
tutela.
from any type of guardianship.
Democracia sólida
Where's the lie?
Sound
vão além
democracies
do
go
ritual
beyond
eleitoral.
the electoral ritual.
Seu vigor
Its strength
pressupõe a redução das
presupposes the
desigualdades,
reduction of
a garantia
inequalities,
dos direitos
the
mais
guarantee of the
elementares,
most basic
a
rights,
alimentação,
food,
a segurança,
safety,
o trabalho,
work,
a moradia,
housing,
a educação
education,
e a
and
saúde.
health.
A A democracia falha
Democracy
quando as
fails
mulheres ganham
when
menos que
women
os homens
earn less than
ou
men
morrem pelas
or
mãos de
die
parceiros
at
e
the hands
familiares.
of partners and family
Ela
members.
perde
It
quando
loses
fecha suas
when it
portas
closes its
e
doors
culpa migrantes
and
pelas
blames
mazelas do
migrants
mundo.
for the world's ills.
A pobreza
Poverty
é tão
is
inimiga
as
da
much
democracia
an enemy of
quanto o
democracy
extremismo.
as extremism.
Por isso,
Therefore,
foi com orgulho
we were proud
que
to
recebemos
receive
da FAO
confirmation
a
from
confirmação
That's the new
do Brasil
Canadian
voltou a
ambassador to the
sair do
UN.
mapa
again
da
left
fome
the hunger
David
este ano de
Lametti.
in
2020.
this year, 2025.
Mas no mundo,
But in the
ainda há
world,
670
there are
milhões
still
de pessoas famintas
670
e
million hungry
cerca de
people
2
and
bilhões e
about
300 milhões
2.3 billion
enfrentam insegurança
face
alimentar.
food insecurity.
A única guerra
The only
que
war
todos podem
of
sair
which
vencedores.
everyone
É
can
que
emerge
travamos
victorious
contra a
is the
fome
one
e a
we
pobreza.
wage against hunger and
Esse é o
poverty.
objetivo da Aliança
This is the
Global
goal of the
que
global
lançamos no
alliance we
G20
launched
e que já conta
at the
com o apoio de
G20 and which has the
103
support
países.
of 103
A
countries.
comunidade
The
internacional
international community
precisa rever
needs to
suas
revise
prioridades,
its priorities,
reduzir os gastos com
reduce
guerras
arms
e
spending,
aumentar a ajuda
and
ao
increase
desenvolvimento.
development aid.
Aliviar o serviço da
Relieve the
dívida
service
externa
of the
dos
foreign
países mais
debt
pobres,
of the poorest
sobretudo os
countries above
africanos,
all African
e
nations,
definir
and
padrões
set
mínimos de
minimum
tributação
global
global
tax standards
para que os super
so
ricos
that the super
paguem mais
rich
impostos
pay
que
more
os
taxes
trabalhadores.
than workers.
A democracia também se
Democracy
mede
is
pela
also
capacidade
measured
de
by the
proteger
ability
as
to
famílias
protect
e a infância.
families and the childhood.
As plataformas digitais
Digital platforms
trazem
offer
possibilidade de nos
possibilities for
aproximar
us to come
como
together
jamais
in
havíamos
ways we
imaginado.
never
Carrie.
imagined.
Nailed
Mas
it.
têm sido usadas
But they
para
have been
semear
used for
intolerância,
sowing
misoginia,
intolerance,
xenofobia e
misogyny,
desinformação.
xenophobia, and misinformation.
internet
The internet
não pode ser terra
cannot be
sem
a
lei.
land of
Cabe ao poder
lawlessness.
público proteger
It's
os
up
mais
to governments
vulneráveis.
to protect the most
Regular
vulnerable.
não é
Regulating does
restringir a
not
liberdade de
mean
expressão,
restraining
é
freedom
garantir
of
que
expression.
o que
It's
já é
about
ilegal
ensuring
no mundo real
that what is
seja
already
tratado assim
illegal in the
também
real
no
world is
ambiente
treated
digital,
the
no
way in
ambiente
the virtual
virtual.
environment.
Ataques à
Attacks
regulação
on regulation
serve para encobrir
serve to
interesses
cover up
escusos
hidden
e dar
interests
guarida a
and
crimes como
provide
fraudes,
shelter for
tráfico de
crimes
pessoas,
such
pedofilia
as fraud,
e
human
investidas
trafficking,
contra a democracia.
pedophilia, and attacks against
O
democracy.
parlamento brasileiro,
The Brazilian parliament
corretamente,
was right to
apressou-se em
rush
abordar
this
esse
to
problema.
address this issue.
Com orgulho,
Last week,
promulguei na
I
última
proudly
semana
enacted
uma das leis mais
one of the
avançadas
world's
do
most
mundo
advanced laws
para
for the
proteger,
protection
para a
of
proteção de
children and
crianças e
adolescents
adolescentes
in
na
the
esfera digital.
digital environment.
Também enviamos ao Congresso
Also, we
Nacional
sent draft bills
projeto de lei
to the National
para
Congress
fomentar
Oh,
a
I
concorrência
can't
dos
recall if-
mercados digitais,
and
Did tech
digital
companies get upset about that?
instalação de data
of
centers
sustainable
sustentáveis.
data centers.
Yet another reason for perhaps us to go after
Para
Brazil.
mitigar os
To
riscos da
mitigate
inteligência
the risks
artificial,
of artificial intelligence,
apostamos na
we are
construção de uma
committed to
governança
building
multilateral
multilateral
em linha
governance
com o
in
Pacto
line with the
Digital
global
Global
digital
aprovado
compact
neste plenário.
that was approved
Can he
in
be
this
our
plenary
president too?
last year.
Senhoras e senhores,
Ladies and gentlemen, Your
Na América
Excellencies,
Latina e
in Latin
Caribe,
America and the Caribbean,
vivemos momento
we
de
are
crescente
experiencing a
polarização
time
e
of growing
instabilidade.
polarization and instability.
Manter a região como zona de
Maintaining the
paz
region as a zone of
sempre
peace
foi e é a
is
nossa
and was
prioridade.
our priority.
Somos continente
We
livre
are
de
a
armas de
continent
destruição
free
em massa,
of weapons of mass
sem conflitos
destruction,
étnicos ou
without
religiosos.
ethnic or religious
preocupante.
conflicts.
A
The
equiparação entre a
comparison between
criminalidade e o
crime
terrorismo.
and terrorism is
A
worrying.
forma mais eficaz
The most effective way
de combater o
to
tráfico de
combat
drogas
drug
é a
trafficking
cooperação
is to
para
cooperate
reprimir
to suppress
a lavagem de dinheiro
money
e
laundering
limitar o
and
comércio de
limit
armas.
arms trade.
Usar força
Using
letal
lethal
em
force
situações
in
que não
situations
constituem
that do not
conflitos armados
constitute armed
equivale
conflict is
a executar
tantamount
pessoas
to
sem
executing
julgamento.
people without trial.
Outras partes do
Other parts of
planeta
the planet
já testemunharam
already
intervenções que
witnessed
causaram danos maiores
interventions
do
that
que
caused
se
greater
pretendia
damage
evitar,
than intended,
com graves
with serious
consequências humanitárias.
humanitarian consequences.
A via do diálogo
The path to
não deve estar
dialogue
fechada
must not
I'm
be
almost in
closed
tears.
in
I love this man
Venezuela.
O
so much.
Haiti
Haiti
tem direito a
has the
futuro
right
livre de
to a
violência.
violence
E é
free
inadmissível
future. And it is
que Cuba esteja
unacceptable
listada
that
como
Cuba
país que
be
patrocina o
listed as a
terrorismo.
country that sponsors
No
terrorism.
conflito
In the
na
conflict
Ucrânia,
in Ukraine, In the
Todos já
conflict in
sabemos que
Ukraine,
não
we
haverá
all
solução militar.
already know that there will be
O
no
recente encontro no
military
Alasca
solution. The
despertou
recent
a
meeting in
esperança de uma
Alaska
saída
raised
negociada.
hopes for a negotiated
É
way
preciso
out.
pavimentar
It's necessary to
caminhos
pave the way
para uma solução
for
realista.
a realistic
Isso
solution.
implica
This
levar em conta as
implies
legítimas
taking into
preocupações de
account
segurança
the
de todas as
legitimate
partes.
security concerns
A
of all
iniciativa
parties.
africana
The African
e o grupo
Initiative
de amigos da
and
paz,
the Friends
criado
for
por
Peace
China e
group
Brasil,
created by China
pode
and
contribuir
Brazil
para promover
can
o diálogo.
help promote dialogue
Nenhuma situação
and a diplomatic
é mais
solution. No
Friends for
solution is
Peace
more
Group?
emblematic
Is that the
of
name
the
of it?
disproportionate
Da
and
força
illegal
do
use
que a
of
da
force
Palestina.
that the one occurring in
Os
Palestine.
atentados
The
terroristas
terrorist
perpetrados
attacks
pelo Hamas
perpetrated
I thought he was
by
talking about
Hamas
Venezuela.
are
Indefensáveis sob qualquer
indefensible
ângulo.
from any
Mas
angle,
nada,
but nothing,
absolutamente
absolutely
nada,
nothing
justifica o
justifies
genocídio
the
em
ongoing
curso em
genocide
Gaza.
in Gaza.
This is one of the
Ali-
speeches of the century, right here.
Ali, sob toneladas
This to me is a
de
historic
Tons of
speech.
rubble
estão enterradas
are
dezenas
buried
de milhares
tens
de
of
mulheres e
thousands of
crianças
innocent
inocentes.
women and children.
Ali também estão sepultados o direito
We can see
internacional
that
humanitário
international
e
humanitarian
o
law and
mito
the
da
myth of
superioridade
ethical
ética do Ocidente.
exceptionalism of the West are
Este
also being
massacre
buried there.
não
This
aconteceria
massacre would not have
Really
happened
interesting.
without the
que poderiam
complicity of
evitar.
those who could have prevented
Em Gaza,
it. In Gaza,
Fome é usada
hunger
como arma
is
de guerra.
used as a weapon of
E o
war,
deslocamento
and the
forçado de
forced
populações
displacement of
é
populations
praticado
goes
impunemente. Quero
unpunished.
expressar
I
minha
express
admiração
my
aos
admiration
judeus
to the Jews
que dentro e
who,
fora de Israel
inside and
se
outside
opõem
Israel,
a esta punição
oppose this
coletiva.
collective punishment.
O povo
The
palestino
Palestinian
corre o
people
risco
are
de
at risk
desaparecer.
of disappearing.
Só sobreviverá
They
como
will
um
only
Estado
survive
independente
with an
integrado à
independent state
comunidade
integrated
internacional.
to the international community.
Esta é a
This
solução
is the
defendida por
solution
mais de
defended by more
150
than
membros da ONU
150
e afirmada
UN members,
ontem aqui,
reaffirmed
neste mesmo
yesterday
plenário,
here in this very
mas
plenary,
obstruída
but
por
bared
único
by
veto.
a single
É
veto.
lamentável
It is regrettable
presidente
that
Mahmoud
President
Abbas
Mahmoud
tenha
Abbas
sido impedido
was prevented
pelo
by
país
the host
anfitrião de
country
ocupar
of
a
occupying
bancada da
the Palestinian
Palestina
bench
nesse
at this
momento
historical moment.
O alastramento
The
desse
spread
conflito
of this
para o Líbano,
conflict to Lebanon,
para a Síria,
Syria,
e o Irã
Iran,
e o Catar
Qatar
fomenta a
is
escalada
fueling
armamentista
an
sem
unprecedented
precedentes.
arms build-up.
Senhoras presidenta,
Madam President,
bombas e armas nucleares
bombs
não
and
vão
nuclear
nos
weapons
proteger da
will
crise
not
climática.
protect us from the climate
O ano de
crisis. The year
2024
of 24
foi o mais
was the
quente já
warmest
registrado.
already
A
registered.
COP30 em
COP30
Belém, no
in
Brasil,
the city of Belém,
será a
Brazil,
COP da
will
verdade.
the COP of truth.
Será o momento
It
de
will
os
be
líderes
the time
mundiais
for world leaders
provarem
to
a
prove
real
seriedade
shift in
do
world
seu
influence.
compromisso com o planeta.
to the planet.
Sem ter o quadro
Without
completo das
a complete
contribuições
picture
nacionalmente determinadas,
of the
a chamada
NDCs,
NDC,
nationally determined
caminharemos de olhos
contributions,
vendados
we were
para o
walking
Trump
verdadeiro
shifted the
right
centers of
towards the
power.
abyss.
se
Brazil
comprometeu a
has
reduzir
committed
entre
to
59% e
reducing its emissions by
67% suas
59 to
emissões,
and
abrangendo todos
67%,
os gases de
covering
efeito
all
estufa
greenhouse
em
gases
todos os
and
setores da
all
economia.
sectors of the economy.
Nações em desenvolvimento
Developing nations
enfrentam a mudança do
face
clima
climate
ao
change
mesmo tempo
while
que lutam
grappling
contra outros
with
desafios.
other challenges.
Enquanto isso,
Meanwhile,
países ricos
rich countries
usufruem
enjoy
de padrão de
a
vida
standard
obtido às
of
custas de
living
200
reached
anos
at
de
the
emissões de
expense of
gás.
200 years of greenhouse
Exigir
gas
maior
emissions.
ambição e
Demanding
maior acesso
greater
a
ambition
recursos
and greater
e
access
tecnologias
to
não é
resources
uma
and
questão de
technology.
caridade,
It's not a matter of
é
charity,
apenas uma
but
questão de
of
justiça.
Fuck you, Mario.
A corrida
Marco.
por
The
minerais
race
críticos
for
e
Marco.
essenciais.
I always get Mario because of Rubio.
Energy
Não
transition
pode
cannot
reproduzir a lógica
reproduce the
predatória
predatory
que
and
marcou
asymmetrical
os últimos
logic
séculos.
that has
Em
characterized
Belém,
recent centuries. In
o
Belém
mundo vai
City,
conhecer
the
a
world
realidade
will
da
learn
Amazônia.
about the
O
reality of
Brasil
the
já
Amazon.
reduziu pela metade
Brazil has already
o
reduced
desmatamento na região
deforestation by
nos
half
dois
in the
últimos anos.
region in the last 2 years.
Erradicá-lo requer
Eradicating
garantia,
it
condições
requires
dignas de vida para
ensuring
seus milhões de
decent living
habitantes.
conditions for its millions of
Fomentar o
inhabitants.
desenvolvimento
Promoting
sustentável
sustainable development
é o objetivo
is the
do Fundo
objective of the
Florestas
Tropical
Tropicais
Forest
para
Forever
sempre,
Facility,
que o Brasil
which
pretende
Brazil intends
lançar
to launch
para remunerar
What?
compensate
Is that
países
like
que mantêm
he went
suas
poop?
florestas
Is that
standing.
Harry? Is it about
É
pooping?
chegado o momento do passar
Vacating?
The time has
No?
da
come
fase da
to prove
negociação.
to move
para a
from the
etapa da
negotiation phase to the implementation
O mundo
stage.
deve
The
muito ao
world
regime
owes a lot to the
criado pela
regime
Convenção
created
do
by the
Clima.
Climate Convention.
Mas é necessário
Climate change
trazer ao combate à
needs
mudança
to
do
be
clima
brought
para
to
o
the
coração
heart
da
of the
ONU
UN
para que ela tenha
so that
a
it
atenção
gets
que
the
merece.
attention it
Um
deserves.
conselho
A
vinculado à
council
Assembleia Geral,
linked to the General
com força e
Assembly
Yeah.
with the
legitimidade
power
para
and
monitorar
legitimacy to
compromissos,
monitor
dará
commitments
coerência
provide
à ação climática.
coherence to climate action.
Trata-se de
I'm
um
sorry.
passo
This is a
fundamental
It's too early.
fundamental step
na direção de uma
towards
reforma
late.
mais
broader
abrangente da
reform of the
organização,
organization,
que contemple
which
também
would
um
also
Conselho de
include
Segurança
an
ampliado
expanded
nas
Security
duas
Council
categorias
in
de
the
seus
two
membros.
member categories.
Poucas áreas
Few areas
retrocederam
I think this
tanto
eventually
como
makes the
o
UN
sistema
stronger.
multilateral de comércio.
multilateral
What do you wanna
trading
bet?
system.
I have a feeling.
Medidas
Unilateral
unilaterais,
He is
measures
giving those vibes.
have
My
brought
name is
fundamental
Diego
principles
princípios
Montoya.
basilares,
such as
I love this
most
man.
favored nations
A
clauses,
Strong leader. I mean,
desorganizam
remains
cadeias
to
de
be
valor,
seen,
have
but so far
redistributed
leva a economia
value
seems
chains
positive.
and through
em
the
uma
global
espiral
economy
perniciosa
into
de
a
preços
pernicious
altos e
spiral of
estagnação.
high prices and
É urgente
stagnation. It is urgent
refundar o OMC
to
em
to
bases
refound the
modernas e
WTO
flexíveis.
based on modern
Senhoras
and flexible
e senhores,
foundations. Your Excellencies, ladies
Este
and
ano,
gentlemen, this year,
o mundo perdeu
the
duas
world lost two
personalidades
exceptional
excepcionais.
public figures.
O ex-presidente do
Former
Uruguai, Pepe
Uruguayan
Mujica,
President Pepe
e o
Mujica
nosso
And
querido
the
and
Papa
our
suit?
dear Pope Francis, both
encarnaram como ninguém
embodied the
os
best
melhores valores
humanist
humanistas.
values like no
Suas
other.
vidas se
Their lives
entrelaçam,
were
se entrelaçaram
intertwined
com as
with
8
the 8
décadas de existência da
decades
ONU.
of the UN.
Se ainda
UN's
estivesse entre nós,
existence. If they were still among us,
provavelmente usariam
they would
esta
use this
tribuna
platform
para
to
lembrar
remember
que o autoritarismo,
that authoritarianism,
a degradação
environmental
ambiental e a
degradation, and
desigualdade
inequality
não são
are
inexoráveis.
not
Que os
relentless.
únicos derrotados
That the only
são os que
ones
cruzam os
defeated are
braços
those who stand
resignados.
idly by,
Que
resigned.
podemos vencer os falsos profetas e
Resignate,
oligarcas
and
que
that we can
exploram
defeat the
o medo
false
e
prophets and
monetizam o
oligarchs
ódio.
who exploit fear
E
and
que o
monetize
amanhã
hate, and that
é feito de
tomorrow
escolhas
is
diárias
made of daily
e é preciso
choices,
coragem
and it
de
takes
agir
courage
para
to act
transformá-lo.
to transform
No
it.
futuro que o Brasil
In the
vislumbra,
future that Brazil
não há
envisions,
espaço
there
para a
is no
reedição
room
de
for the
rivalidades
reenactment
He's a
ideológicas,
shell of his former
ideological
self.
rivalries or spheres
A
of
confrontação
effort.
é
Confrontation is
inevitável.
not
Or a
inevitable.
shell of a
Precisamos de
man.
liderança
We
com
need leaders
clareza de
with
visão,
clear
que
visions
entendam que a
who
ordem
understand that
internacional
the
não
international
é
Or
order
snake
is not
skin
a
left behind.
zero-sum game.
O século
The
XXI
21st
será
century
cada
will
vez
be
mais
increasingly
multipolar. Para se
multipolar.
manter pacífico,
For it
não
to
pode
remain
deixar de ser
peaceful,
multilateral.
it cannot fail
O Brasil
fall
confere
to multilateral.
crescente importância à
Gross
União
shell.
Europeia, à União Africana,
Imports to the European
à
Union,
ASEAN,
Macro
African Union,
Rubio.
à
ASEAN,
aos
CELAC,
BRICS e ao
BRICS,
G20.
and the G20.
A voz do
The
Sul
voice of
global
the global South
deve ser
must
respeitada e
be
ouvida.
heard.
A ONU
The UN,
A ONU tem
the
hoje
UN
quase
has
4
today
vezes
almost
mais
4
membros do que os
times more members
51
than
que estiveram
the
na
51
fundação.
who were at its
Nossa
foundation.
missão histórica
Our
é
historical
torná-la
mission
novamente
is to make it once
portadora de
again a
esperança
barrier of
e
hope
promotora da
and a
igualdade,
promoter
da
of
paz,
equality,
do desenvolvimento
peace,
sustentável
sustainable
e da
development,
diversidade
diversity,
e da
and
tolerância.
tolerance.
Que Deus
May
nos
God
abençoe a
bless
todos
us
e muito
all.
obrigado.
And thank you very much.
Certified Badass.
There you go. That was amazing. That's a historical speech. I'm going to have to clip
On
that
behalf
just without
of the
my
Assembly,
commentary.
I wish to thank the President of the Federative Republic of Brazil.
What an impressive speech. What beautifully said. Hope the translation was on, but in terms of being accurate, but it sounds like it was. So what an actual leader. Wow. Imagine. Let me see if I can get to where they're starting.
His Excellency, and invite him to address the Assembly.
Oh, here we go. Oh, gird your loins. I'm sorry, everybody.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
That's not him. Oh, he's nervous.
And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working.
Oh!
I feel very happy to be up here with you, nevertheless. And that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's so mad. He's shaking. Oh my God.
Hello, Madam First Lady. Thank you very much for being here.
Holy shit.
And Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, First Lady of the United States, distinguished delegates, ambassadors, and world leaders. 6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble, but today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth. This is indeed the golden age of America. We are rapidly reversing the economic calamity we inherited from the previous administration, including numerous price increases and record-setting inflation we've never had before. Under my leadership, energy costs are down, gasoline prices are down, grocery prices are down, mortgage rates are down, and inflation has been defeated. The only thing that's up is the stock market, which just hit a record high.
Oh, fresh.
It hit a record high 48 times.
Fresh cut there with the First Lady.
Growth is surging. Manufacturing is booming. The stock market, as I said, is doing better than it's ever done. And all of you in this room benefit by that. Almost everybody.
Hey, Velosa, please.
And importantly, workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? In 4 years of President Biden, we have less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States. In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for $17 trillion. Think of it, 4 years,
show me
less
the data.
than $1 trillion, 8 months.
Show me the data,
much
bitch.
More than $17 trillion is being invested in the United States. And it's now pouring in from all parts of the world.
Does that count your payoffs?
We've implemented the largest tax cuts in American history and the largest regulation cuts in American history, making this once and again the best country on earth to do business.
On earth,
and
people.
Many of the people in this room are
yeah, we made it more expensive to do business with us, but get over it.
Good investment during this 8
Apparently not, because people are running.
In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the best economy ever. History of the world.
History of the world.
And I'm doing the same thing again, but this time it's actually
He also
bigger
got fresh color. Him and the First Lady.
The numbers far
take a Tylenol to listen to him.
First term, on our southern border, we have successfully repelled a colossal invasion, and for the last 4 months,
an invasion of Colossus? We had Colossus coming over the border? Oh, my Lord.
Admitted and entering our country
my Lord.
Has been
well, that would have been an emergency, wouldn't it have?
Hard to believe.
People would have been stepped
Because if you
on.
look back just
They're big.
a
Colossus
year
are
ago, it
big,
was
right?
millions and millions of people pouring in from
I just
all
hope
over
they
the
know
world,
we're
from
not
prisons,
all this stupid.
mental institutions, drug dealers, all over the world they came.
Everyone should
They just
get up
poured
and
into our
walk
country
out.
with the ridiculous open border policy of the Biden administration. Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means?
No. I
want to
don't.
thank the country of
Wait,
El
what
Salvador
does that
for
mean?
the successful and
What does it
professional job
mean?
they've done in receiving and
I don't know what
jailing
it
so many
means.
criminals that entered our country. And it was under the previous administration that the number became record-setting, and they're all being taken out. They have no choice. And other countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation with immigration. It's destroying your country, and you have to do something about it. On the world stage, America is respected again like it has never been respected before. You think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or 1 year ago, we were a laughingstock all over the world. At the NATO summit in June, virtually all NATO members formally committed to increase defense spending at my request from 2% to 5% of GDP, making our alliance far stronger and more powerful than it was ever before. In May, I traveled to
Oh my
the
God.
Middle East
Yeah, that gave
to
me a
visit my
headache.
friends and rebuild our partnerships in the Gulf and those valued relationships
Yeah, where are
with
the
Saudi
1,200
Arabia,
missing people?
Qatar, and the UAE and other countries are now, I believe, closer than ever before. My administration has negotiated one historic trade deal after another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others. Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7
Oh, I don't think I have a
unendable
poop,
wars. They
but
said
I
they
could do
were
something else.
unendable.
Hold on.
You're never going to get them solved. Some were going for 31 years, 2 of them, 31, think of it, 31 years. One was 36 years.
Think of it, all you
One was
countries in this
28
room who
years.
have experienced years of
I
war.
ended 7 wars. And in all cases, they were raging with countless thousands of people
Well, they're not clapping at
being
all.
killed. This includes Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was,
Which is still going on.
Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Oh, he really
included
practiced.
All of them. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months.
Killed
Never
7
happened
flies with, or 7
Never done
giants with
anything
one
like that.
swat.
Very honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them.
Oh!
Sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them.
Oh!
I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the
Oh!
deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen.
Oh my
She's in
God!
great shape. We're both in good shape.
Oh
We
my
both stood.
God! Oh my God!
And then a teleprompter.
Oh
that
my
didn't work.
God!
These are the 2 things I
Oh
got
my
from
God.
the United Nations: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
Oh my God!
Thank you very much.
Oh my God!
And by the way, it's working now. Just
Oh
went
my
on.
God!
Thank you.
Oh, well, okay, here we go.
I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier. Thank you very much. I didn't think of it at the time
Oh my
because I
God.
was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't
Oh,
there
is it
for
working
us.
now?
They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during. not during these negotiations, which were not easy.
Oh my
That being the
God.
case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The
Oh my
UN has
God.
such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential.
It looks
but
like
it's not even coming
the
close to
cartoon
living
version
up
of
to that
him.
potential. For the most part,
Doesn't
at least
he?
for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter
Yeah, isn't that today?
and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords,
Yeah, I
which
think
is
they
a
both
very
got fresh color.
big thing
Yeah.
for which our country received no credit, never receives credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for
My
me, the real prize will be the sons
God.
and daughters who
Oh,
live to grow up
please. No one
with their
believes
mothers
you.
and fathers, because millions of people are no longer
Hi,
being killed
KRC Kane.
in endless and unglorious wars. What I care about is not winning prizes, it's saving lives. We saved millions and millions of
Oh my
lives with the
God.
7
Look at Marco.
wars.
Macro.
And we have others that we're working on, and you know that. Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. They're going to give you terrazzo. I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and so costly. It was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns. Well, I turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns. They spent between $2 and $4 billion on the building and did not even get the marble floors that I promised them. You walk on terrazzo. Do you notice that?
Oh my God.
As far as I'm concerned, frankly, looking at the building and
My God.
getting stuck on the escalator, they still haven't finished
Oh
the
my
job.
God,
They
I'm
still haven't
dying. I
finished
don't
it
even
years ago.
understand. He should get an
The project
Oscar.
was so
That's what
corrupt
he
that
should
Congress
get.
actually asked me to testify before them on the tremendous
can't.
waste of money.
I
Because
can't with
out
this.
they had no idea.
No,
what it
you have
was,
to
but they
listen,
knew it
Badger.
was
It's worth it.
anywhere between $2 and
This is
$4 billion
worth it.
as opposed to $500 million.
This is a
guaranteed.
complete meltdown.
But they had no idea, and I said it cost much more than $5 billion. Unfortunately, many things in the United Nations
Right.
are happening just
If you
like
know,
that,
you know. Terrazzo is the
but
best
on an
flooring.
even much bigger scale, much, much bigger. Very sad to see.
This is
Whether the
crazy.
UN can manage to
Marcos,
play a
Macro's
productive
soul
role.
has
I've
left the
come here today
building.
to offer the hand of American leadership and friendship to any nation in this assembly that is willing to join us in forging a safer, more prosperous world.
We're bombing boats out of the
It's a world
water
that will
unilaterally.
Much happier with. A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together to confront some of the greatest threats in history. There is no more serious danger.
Does he
to
get
our
more
planet
time 'cause he
today
whined
than
a
the
little
most
bit?
powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made containing
Macro
these
is
threats
his
a top
Neuralink run. Yes,
priority,
that's it.
starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon. That's why shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's nuclear program. The
Cooperation.
regime's
What's that
answer
mean?
was to continue their constant threats to their neighbors and U.S. interests throughout the region, and some great countries that are right nearby.
Oh, boy.
Today, many of Iran's former military commanders, in fact, I can say almost all of them, are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation
Okay,
Midnight
then.
Hammer, 7 American B-2 bombers dropped the 14 30,000-pound each bombs.
You know, they're
on
in the
Iran's
room.
key
You do
nuclear
realize
facility,
that, sir.
Totally obliterating everything. No other country on earth
I
could
think
have
it
done
must
what
be.
we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did. We have the greatest
He'll talk
weapons
about the
on earth.
ballroom. Don't
We
worry.
hate to use them. But we did something that
Wow, macro looks
for
really
22
empty.
years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone
The
knows, I
12-day
have also
war.
been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards
Yeah, but
would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities, including October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept a ceasefire. Instead of giving to Hamas and giving so much, because they've taken so much, they have taken so much.
yes, unfortunately,
It's taken
Hamas
so long
negotiators keep exploding.
ago. But instead of giving in,
Hard to
Hamas's
negotiate when
ransom
you're
demands,
killing them.
Those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages now. Just release the hostages now. Thank you.
No, of course.
Thank you. As we have got to come together, and we will come together, got to get it done. We have to stop the war in Gaza immediately. We have to stop it. We have to get it done. We have to negotiate. Immediately have to negotiate peace. We have to get the
Negotiate?
hostages back.
You're
We
bombing the
won't
hell
want
out
to
of the
We don't want
Palestinians.
2 and 4. As you know, I got, along with Steve Witkoff and others that helped us, Marco Rubio, we
Macro.
got most of them back. We were involved in all of them. But I always said the last 20 are going to be the hardest, and that's exactly what happened. We have to get them back now. We don't want to get back 2, and then another 2, and then 1, and then 3. Have this process. No, we want them all back, and we want the actually 38 dead bodies back too. Those parents came
Yeah,
to
start
me,
the
and they want them
music.
back, and they want them back very quickly and very badly, as though they were alive. They want them. They want them every bit as much as if their son or daughter were alive.
This is riffing.
I've also been working relentlessly, stopping the killing in Ukraine. I thought that would be, of the 7 wars that I stopped, I
Just
thought that would be
riffing.
the easiest because of my relationship with President Putin, which had always been a good one. I thought that was going
But
to
it
be
isn't
the
anymore?
easiest one. But you know, in war, you never know what's going to happen. There are always lots of surprises, both good and bad. Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way.
My God.
It was
Who
supposed to
thought
be
that?
just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good.
Oh, my
It's making them
God.
look bad. No matter what happens from here on out,
Yeah,
this was
exactly,
something
Neil.
that should have taken a matter of days, certainly less than a week. And they've been fighting for 3.5 years and killing anywhere from 5
there's
to
Zelensky.
7,000 young soldiers,
Oh, my
mostly,
God.
mostly soldiers, on
Oh,
both
my God.
sides,
Yeah, war is like
every single week.
chocolates.
From 5
Jesus
to
Christ.
7,000 dead young people, and some in cities, much smaller numbers, where rockets are shot, where drones are dropped. This war would never
Drones are
have started if
dropped.
I were president. This was a war that should have never happened.
Oh, my God.
It shows you what leadership
Riffing.
is, what bad leadership can do to a country.
Riffing.
Look what happened to the United States.
That's right.
And look where we
Biden.
are right now in just
Damn
a short
Biden.
period of time. The only question now is how many more lives will
He'd like
be
to throat punch him.
needlessly lost on both sides. China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much.
Oh man, he's
Russian
on that
energy
one. He's
and
shaming
Russian energy
them.
products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago. And I
Really?
wasn't
You
happy.
found out?
Think of
You
it.
found out about
They're
it 2
funding the
weeks
war
ago?
against themselves.
Bullshit.
Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. I mean, you're much closer to this. We have an ocean in between.
Riffing.
You're right there. And Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing.
Look at Russia.
They're buying oil and gas from Russia
I'm recording.
while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them. And it
Oh
was
my
very
God.
embarrassing to them when I found out about it, I can tell you that.
You only found
Have to
out about it 2
immediately
weeks ago?
Cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot
Okay,
of time.
now how?
So I'm ready
I
to
have a
discuss
feeling this is
We're
going to
going
backfire.
discuss it today
I don't
with
know.
the
I don't know how, but I
European
just feel like it
nations
is.
all gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak
He's
about it,
riffing.
but that's the way it is.
Riffing.
I like to speak my mind and speak the truth. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us
Ursula.
in ending the development of biological weapons once and for all. And biological is terrible, and nuclear is even beyond, and we include
Okay,
nuclear
what's that
in
mean? What does this
We
mean?
want to have a cessation
Oh, when will
of
he
the
mention
development
Bagram? Yeah.
of nuclear weapons. We know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons that are so powerful that we just can't ever use them. If we
It
ever
is
use
low
them,
energy.
the world literally might come to an end.
Riffing.
There would be no United Nations to be talking
Riffing.
about. There would be no nothing. Just a few years ago, reckless experiments overseas gave us a devastating global pandemic. Yet despite that worldwide catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research into bioweapons and man-made pathogens.
Oh, we're not, right?
This is unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be
Wonder
meeting
why.
with the top leaders of the world
I wonder
by
why.
pioneering an AI verification system.
Hi,
that
Grace
everyone can trust.
Lisa.
Hopefully the UN can play a constructive role, and it will also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot of people are saying it could be one of the great things ever, but it also can be dangerous, but it could be put to tremendous use and tremendous good. And
Uh-oh.
this would be an example.
He's
of
not
that.
sure how he feels about
Not
it.
only is the UN not solving the problems it should too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled.
What?
Your countries are being ruined.
Riffing.
The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States.
Hi, Michael.
Think of that.
How
the
are
UN
you?
is supporting people that are illegally coming into
You know,
the
but I
United
think everyone's
States, and then
fascinated.
we have to get them out. The UN
Just how
also
incompetent
provided
he
food,
is.
shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in. 25 million altogether over the 4 years.
25 now.
of the
Wow.
incompetent
This
Biden
keeps growing.
administration.
Really.
And now We have it stopped. Totally stopped.
Thank God there was another
In
one.
fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them.
What?
And not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world.
Exactly. It is an
Trample our
audience
borders,
uniquely
violate our
situated to
sovereignty,
recognize
cause
his lies,
unmitigated
idiocy, and
crime,
incompetence.
and
Yep.
deplete our social safety net. We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it.
Riffing.
I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I could call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble.
Mexico guy wasn't even listening.
Illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out.
Okay.
It's not sustainable.
Oh boy.
And because
That's
they choose
ripping.
to be politically
Sorry.
correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it.
Okay, well that's the UK he's talking about.
I have to say, I look at London where you have a terrible mayor.
Hello?
Terrible mayor.
Hello?
And
Just-
it's been
I
so
nailed it.
changed, So
Man.
changed.
What?
Now they want to go to Sharia law.
Okay, that's
You're in a
it's
different
this is
country. You can't do
riffing.
that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained.
Oh my God.
What makes the world so beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to
I
control
have
your
no
borders,
idea how long he's
as
been
we do
talking.
now, and to limit the
can't-
sheer
I
numbers
want him to
of
keep
migrants
talking,
entering
damn
their
it. This is
countries and
great.
paid for by the people.
He's totally
of that
letting it
nation
all
that were
out.
there and that built that particular nation at the time.
I think this is a perfect
They put their blood, sweat, tears,
climax.
money into that country, and now they're being ruined. Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything. Where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons, they should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and people that are struggling and truly compassionate,
Not really.
answers will be given. We have to solve the
throw
problem. We have
tomatoes.
to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries.
Oh my
And we are very helpful to a lot of countries
Oh my God.
that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send them to us in caravans of 25, 30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring
There were
into
no
our
caravans.
country, totally unchecked and
We're not.
unvetted.
None.
But not anymore. According to the Council
Is
of
a
Europe,
complete
in 2024,
embarrassment.
almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were
And
foreign
just of heart
nationals
failure,
or
I
migrants.
think results
Austria, the
in
number
big
is
hearts. Yes, it's true.
53% of the
And
people in
emphysema.
prisons were
And kidney failure.
places that weren't from where they are now. In Greece, the number was 54%, and in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72%
Uh-oh.
of the people in prison.
Black Bear. Hello, friend.
When your
Yeah,
prisons
exactly.
are filled
Are
with
you still
so-called
overseas?
asylum seekers who repaid
Starving
kindness,
children will
and that's
move.
what
Yeah,
they did.
exactly.
They repaid kindness with crime.
Doesn't
It's
understand
time to end the failed
migration.
experiment of open borders. You have to end it now.
Oh, look at the
I
other
can tell
dork
you.
is behind him.
I'm
Susie
really good at this
Wiles is
stuff.
there.
Your countries are going to hell. In
What?
America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut
Oh,
down
okay.
uncontrolled migration. Once we
Bondi-
started detaining
Bondi-
and
I don't know how
deporting
to say that,
everyone who
actually.
crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States, they simply
that.
stopped coming. They're not coming anymore. We're getting a lot of credit, but they're not coming anymore.
What?
This was a humanitarian act for all involved because
Really?
on the trips up, thousands of
When we
people a
send,
week were
when we
dying.
rendition people to
Women were
foreign
being
prisons,
raped.
that's
Nobody's
humanitarian.
ever seen anything like it. Raped, horribly beaten,
What?
raped. On the trip up, the journey up, it was a long walk. It was a long, arduous
Riffing.
journey. Indeed.
Riffing.
And it was also a historic victory against
Riffing.
human trafficking throughout the region. What we did was a victory, and we saved so many lives of people that wouldn't make the journey.
Yeah, there's
that journey
jittering.
was
There's
loaded up with death. Loaded up with death. Dead bodies all along
Riffing.
the roads of jungles. To get up, they go through jungles, they go through areas so hot you couldn't breathe. They were dying of suffocation. Areas so hot that you couldn't breathe.
What? Excuse me?
Dead bodies all over.
Wait, what? Wait,
By them
what?
not coming, we're saving tremendous numbers of
What?
lives. My people have done a fantastic job
What?
doing what they did, and the American public agrees with it. I mean, I was
What?
very proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Part of it is because of what
What?
we've done on the
Riffing.
border. I guess the other
Riffing.
part is what we've done on the
Riffing.
economy. Joe Biden's policies empowered murderous gangs, human smugglers,
God.
child
Wait a minute.
traffickers, drug cartels, and prisoners from all over the world. The previous administration also lost nearly 300,000 children. Think
No,
of
they
that.
didn't. We
They
already
lost
debunked that on one of my earlier
more than
shows.
300,000
Wah.
children, little children.
No, they
who were
didn't.
trafficked into the United
No, they
States
didn't. No, they
on the
weren't.
Biden watch.
No, they
Many
weren't.
of whom have been raped, exploited,
No,
and
they
abused
weren't.
and sold.
Wow, no.
Sold.
None of
Nobody
that
talks
happened.
about that. The
None of
fake
that
news doesn't
happened.
write about
All
it.
debunked. All
With many
debunked.
others, young
All
children
debunked.
who are missing or dead.
Stop it. That's not
We
true.
found a lot of these children.
Stop
and we're
it.
Sending them back, and we've been sending them back to their
Wait,
parents.
what?
They said, nobody knows who they are. They said, where do you come from? And they'll give us a country, and we'll find out, and we'll figure it out, and we'll bring them back to their homes. And
None
the
of that
mother
is
and father
true.
Rush to the door, and their tears in their eyes. They can't believe that they're seeing their son or daughter.
None
their
of that
little
is
son or
true.
daughter Again. We've done almost 30,000 of them so far. Any system that results
What he's
in the mass
saying is that he
trafficking of
deported
children
30,000
is
children.
inherently evil. Yet that
Oh
is
my God.
exactly what
I
the
can't with
globalist
this.
Migration agenda
This
has
is
done, and
amazing.
it's what it's all about. In America, those days, as you know, are over. The Trump administration is working, and we are continuing to
Exactly,
work
Kim. Hi,
to track down
Kim. How
the
are
villains that are
you?
causing this problem, and also, as I said, to
Ashley,
get
okay,
back the
that's fine.
30,000
Yeah.
we've already returned. Now I think
This
we're gonna have
versus
another. We're gonna
Lula.
find a lot. You're not going to find all of them. 300,
This
more
versus
than
Lula.
300,000.
Yeah, Michael.
They're lost
A
or
day
they're
for
dead.
historical speech.
They're
What a
lost or they're
what a
dead
contrast.
because of the animals that did this. To protect our citizens, I've also designated multiple
No.
savage drug cartels as far as
Okay, here we go,
You see
Venezuela.
it happening right before your eyes. Let's put it this way: people don't like taking big loads of drugs in boats anymore. There aren't too many boats that are traveling on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very quickly anymore. And we've virtually stopped drugs coming into our country by
Oh my
sea.
God.
We call them the water drugs. They kill hundreds
Water
of
drugs.
thousands of people. I've also
This is riffing.
designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with two bloodthirsty transnational
Yeah, what
gangs,
does the
probably
UN
the
think of
worst gangs
piracy?
anywhere in the world, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua.
Murderer. He's a murderer.
Tren de Aragua is from Venezuela, by the way.
I really want to see
Such
him in like a
organizations
Nuremberg
torture,
setting.
maim, mutilate, and murder with impunity. They're the enemies of all humanity. For this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and
Agree. Grace
trafficking
Lisa.
networks led by Nicolas Maduro. To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice. Can't let it happen. They're destroying.
Okay.
I believe we lost 300,000 people last year to drugs. 300,000.
Perfect. Works for me, Neil.
Fentanyl and other drugs. Each boat that we sink carries drugs that would kill more than 25,000 Americans. We will.
That's
not
fine
let that
too,
happen.
Max. That's fine with
Energy
me.
is another area where the United States is now thriving like never before. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way,
I want to hear his recipe for
They're a joke.
toilet Diet Coke.
they don't work. They're too
Renewables
expensive.
don't work.
They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country
Riffing.
great.
Riffing.
The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad.
Windmills.
So expensive to operate. And they have to be rebuilt all the time, and they start to rust and rot.
Teresa.
Most expensive energy ever conceived.
Oh my God.
It's actually energy. You're supposed to make money with energy.
Oh
not
my
lose
God.
money. You lose money, the governments have to subsidize. You
Oh
can't
my
put them out
God.
without massive subsidies.
I know,
And
Lee.
most
It's
of them are built
okay.
in China,
It's all
and I give
right.
China a lot of credit. They build them, but they very few wind farms. So why is it that they build them and they send them all over the world, but they barely use them?
Yeah.
You know what they use?
No, what?
Coal. They
Coal?
use gas.
Beautiful, clean
use
coal. Is that what he's going to say?
Almost anything, but they don't like wind. They
Riffing.
sure as hell like selling the windmills. Europe, on the other hand,
Oh
has a
my
long way to
God.
go with many.
Who haven't I
countries
insulted?
being
Everybody,
on
raise
the
your
brink
hand.
of destruction
Who haven't I
because of the
insulted
green
in this
energy
room?
agenda, and I give a
Please,
lot of
raise
credit
your
to
hand. I'll
Germany.
find one.
Germany
You?
is being led down a very sick path, both on immigration, by the way, and on energy. They were going green, and they were going
I am too,
bankrupt.
Pep.
And the new leadership came in, and they went back to where they were, with fossil fuel and with nuclear, which is good. It's now safe. You can do it properly. But they went back to where they were, and they opened up a lot of different plants, energy producing plants.
Is he talking
And they're
about
doing
Germany?
Well, I give Germany a lot of credit for
Oh, okay.
that. They've said this is a disaster, what's happening.
So they've rejected.
They
Oh,
were
so
going
Germany
all
has
green.
rejected
All
all
green
renewables? Is that what the
all
headline is?
bankrupt. That's what it represents. And
Is that true?
it's not politically correct. I'll be very badly criticized for saying it, but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't
No,
care.
it's
It
actually
doesn't
not
matter to me.
accurate. It's
in
not
New
the
York
political
City.
correctness.
I'm feeling a lot safer. Crime, we're getting crime down. And by the way, speaking of crime, Washington, D.C. Washington,
Riffing.
D.C.
Riffing.
was the crime capital
Far
of
too
America.
polite.
Now it's after 12 days, it's a totally safe city. Everyone's going out to dinner. They're going out to restaurants. Your wife can walk down the middle of the street with or without you. Nothing's going to happen. My people have done a fantastic job. And yes, I called in the National Guard, and the National Guard took care of business, and they weren't politically correct.
Oh, my
but
God.
They took care of business. We got 1,700 career criminals out, brought them back
Germany
to where they
has,
came from, the countries where they came from. or put them
ambitious
in
goals
jails.
to transition to renewables,
Washington,
including
D.C.
reaching
is now a
80% of
totally
its
safe city
electricity
again.
supply from these
And
sources
I
by
welcome you to
2030.
come. In fact, we'll have dinner together at a local restaurant, and we'll be able to walk. We don't have to go by an armor-plated
He just
vehicle.
lied.
We'll walk right over there from the White House. They've
He just
given up
lied.
their
I know, it keeps
powerful
changing.
edge.
The
A lot
audio
of the
keeps
countries
changing.
that we're talking about in oil and gas, such as essentially
10 minutes of my biannual
closing the
review over
great
Zoom. I
North
had to
Sea
pull my
oil.
hair
Oh, the
together
North
right
Sea,
quick.
I know it so
LOL.
well.
Oh,
Aberdeen was
pantsless.
the oil
Hell
capital
yeah.
of Europe.
Go,
and there's
girl.
tremendous oil that hasn't been found in the North Sea. Tremendous oil. And I was with the Prime Minister I respect and like a lot, and I said, "You're sitting with the greatest asset." They essentially
I know. I'm
closed
sorry.
it by
They
making
did it, not me.
so highly taxed that no developer, no oil company can go there. They
This
have
is riffing.
tremendous oil left, and more importantly, they have tremendous oil that hasn't even been found yet.
This is riffing.
And what a tremendous asset for the United Kingdom.
I kind of think they
And
want
I
him
hope
to
the
just
Prime
hang
Minister is
himself.
listening, because
And
I told
that's
it to
really
him
what
3
they're
days in a
waiting.
row.
They're
That's
just
all
letting
we
him
heard.
go.
North Sea oil, North Sea, because I want to.
They want it
see
all
them
on the
do
record,
well.
I think.
I want to stop seeing them ruining that beautiful Scottish and English countryside with
Riffing.
windmills,
Still
and
riffing.
massive solar panels that go 7 miles by 7 miles, taking away farmland. But we're not letting this happen in America. In 1982, the executive
He
director
is
of the
leaning
United
hard. You're right,
Nations
Pep.
Environmental Program predicted that by the year
Karen,
2000,
congratulations
climate change would
and
cause
wishing
a
for the best.
global
Go, girl.
catastrophe.
Get that.
He
Get the
said
money.
that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What happened? Here we are.
Okay, you're at the United
Another
Nations.
UN official stated in 1989 that within a decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map by global warming. Not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling.
Here
If
we
you
go.
look back
Riffing,
years ago in
riffing.
the 1920s and the 1930s.
Esmeralda,
he
it's so
said,
good to see you. Yeah,
global
get
cooling
madness on
will
the
kill
record.
the
I think they
world.
just want to get it all
We have to
now.
do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler. So now they could just call it climate change because that way they can't miss.
Yeah.
It's climate change.
Okay.
Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change.
Oh, boy.
It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved
all these
in
countries that actually experience incredible hardship and flooding and other things from climate change.
Predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail.
Oh, my God.
And if you don't stop...
This is Hitler.
People that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe.
Riffing.
And I hate to see it being devastated
by
energy and
Mike Waltz. Is that Mike Waltz? He's such a fucking idiot.
Oh,
that's Beasley.
And they cannot
and there's Steve Witkoff, and then there's the energy guy. I can't remember his name. I always forget it.
You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe.
A dumb Hitler.
Before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax. Made up by people with evil intentions.
Oh, my God.
And they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know, the carbon footprint was a big, big thing a few years ago.
Riffing.
I remember hearing about the carbon footprint, and then President Obama would get into Air Force One, a massive Boeing 747.
Throw Obama in there.
And not a new one.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's his name.
Everything into the atmosphere. He'd talk about the carbon footprint. We must do so. Then he'd get in, and he'd fly from Washington to Hawaii to play a round of golf. And then he'd get back onto that big, beautiful plane, and he'd fly back. And he'd talk about, again, global warming and the carbon footprint. It's a con job.
Oh, boy.
At extreme cost and expense, Europe reduced its own carbon footprint by 37%. Think of that. Congratulations, Europe. Great job. You cost yourself a lot of jobs, a lot of factories closed, but you reduced the carbon footprint by 37%. However, for all of that sacrifice and much more, it's been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%. Much of it coming from China and other countries
We're on your
are thriving
I'm
around
about
China,
to open some more here.
which now produces more CO2 than all the other developed nations in the world. So all of these countries are working so hard on the carbon footprint, which is nonsense, by the way.
Okay, riffing.
It's nonsense. You know, it's interesting. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists, and they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess they want to kill all the cows. They want to do things that are just unbelievable.
That's
and you have it
true.
too.
None of that is true.
But you know,
none of that is true.
We have a border, strong, and we have a shape, and that shape doesn't just go straight up. That shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. And if we had the most clean air, and I think we do, we have very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had in many, many years.
No, we have. Well, no, we
don't. The problem is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough.
Okay, this is riffing.
It blows. And no matter what you're doing down here.
I can't. He's doing the weave. Yes, Grace Lisa.
It's very dirty because it comes in from other countries.
Oh, you have a thing of them getting stuck on the escalator?
And
Fuck
the
yeah, gal.
refuse to acknowledge
You're amazing.
That. Same thing with garbage. In Asia, they dump much of their garbage right into the ocean.
Man.
And over about a 1 week and 2 week journey, it flows right past Los Angeles. You've seen it. Massive amounts of garbage, almost too much to do anything about. flowing past Los Angeles, past San Francisco, and then somebody will get in trouble because he dropped a cigarette on the beach.
What the hell are these
The
two
whole
talking
thing
about?
is crazy. The primary effect
well, I'll
of these
say,
brutal
you
green
are
energy
crazy.
policies has not been to help
You're
the
the
environment,
craziest.
but to redistribute manufacturing and industrial activity from developed countries that follow the insane rules that are put down to polluting countries that break the rules and are making a fortune. They're making a fortune. European electricity bills are now 4 to 5 times more expensive than those in China, and 2 to 3 times higher than the United States. And our bills are coming way down. You probably
No,
see that.
they're not, actually.
Gasoline prices
Get
are way
ready.
down.
Get ready,
we have
fall.
an expression, drill,
Anyway.
baby,
Nós reduzimos
drill, and
os
that's what
Oh,
we're
custos
doing.
de energia porque
Why am I getting the other
nós faremos
translation?
vamos fazer tudo isso, reduzir os custos de energia e
Why am I
os
getting
custos
the other
diminuíram nos Estados
translation?
Unidos.
Very uncommon to see one
Oh my
in
God.
some of these countries
Por exemplo,
because
se você
the
olhar
electric costs are so high. So while
nos
the U.S. has
países
approximately
faturas de
1,300 heat-related deaths
nós não
annually, it's a lot.
climatizamos,
Europe loses
AP,
mas nós nos Estados
get your fucking
Unidos
shit together.
conseguimos usar eles e evitar
Oh my God.
aumento da temperatura,
That's not the
porque
Europe
é
that I
muito
love
caro
and know.
também usar
All
nado
in the
e
name
ninguém
of
usa.
pretending to stop the global
Tudo isso.
warming hoax. The entire globalist
very
concept
frustrating.
asking successful industrialized nations to inflict
Esse
pain on
agenda
themselves
mundialista não
and
tem nenhum
radically
sentido.
disrupt their entire societies must be rejected
País
completely and totally, and it must be immediate.
Aumento da temperatura,
Okay,
porque
hold
é muito
on.
caro também.
Let me see what's going on here.
Renewing our commitment, values, and those values really that we hold so dear together. Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect
jumped up
religious
a
liberty,
little bit
including
in
for
time.
the most persecuted religion
Sorry. Oh,
on the planet today. It's called Christianity. And let us safeguard our sovereignty and cherish qualities
Sorry.
that have made each of our nations so special, incredible, and extraordinary. In closing, I just want to repeat that immigration and the high
Mr.
cost of
Spock.
so-called green renewable energy is destroying a large part of the free world and a large part of our planet. Countries that cherish freedom are fading fast because of their policies on these two subjects. You need strong borders and traditional
oh,
energy
stop
sources
it.
if you are
That's
going
not
to
what I
degrade again.
meant.
Whether you have come from north or
That's not
south,
what I
east or
meant.
west, near or far,
He's gonna hear the
every
English.
leader in this beautiful hall today represents a rich culture, a noble history, and a proud heritage that makes each nation majestic and unique, unlike anything else in human history or any other place on the face of the earth. From London to Lima, from Rome to Athens, from Paris to Seoul, from Cairo to Tokyo and Amsterdam to right here in New York City, we stand on the shoulders of the leaders and legends, generals and giants, heroes and titans who won and built our beloved nations, all of our nations, with their own courage, strength, spirit, and skill. Our ancestors climbed mountains, conquered oceans, crossed deserts, and trekked over wide open plains.
He is crazy.
They charged
No, he's
into thunderous
certifiable.
battles,
Really, it has to
plunged
be.
into grave dangers.
This has
and
to be a
they
mental
were soldiers,
breakdown.
and farmers, and workers, and warriors, and explorers, and patriots. They built towns into cities, tribes into kingdoms, ideas into industries, and small islands into mighty empires. You're a part of all of that. They were champions for their people who never
Wow,
gave
you
up,
just spent the last
never,
hour
ever
shitting on all of
gave in.
them.
Their values defined our national identities. Their visions forged our magnificent destiny. Everybody in this room is a part of it in your own way. Each of us inherits the deeds and the myths, the triumphs, the legacies of our
The
own
deeds
heroes
and the
and
myths.
founders who so bravely showed us the way. Our ancestors gave everything
I know,
for
I'm sorry.
homelands that they defended with pride, with sweat,
Myths and legacies?
with blood, with life, and with death. Now the righteous task of protecting the nations that they built belongs to each and every one of us. So together, let us uphold our sacred duty to our people and to our citizens. Let us protect their borders.
I'll do what I
safety,
want, and you
preserve
guys
their
all be the
cultures,
heroes.
treasure, and traditions, and fight for their precious
No.
dreams and their cherished freedoms.
Oh.
And in
Yeah,
friendship,
Nazi shit.
really a beautiful vision. Let us all work together to build a bright, beautiful planet, a planet that we all share, a planet of
Miller
peace
Bannon.
and a world that is richer, better, and more
that makes
beautiful
sense.
than ever before. That can happen. It will happen. It will happen, and I hope it can happen and start right now, right at this moment. We'll turn it around. We're going to make our countries better, safer, more beautiful. We're going
God.
to take care of our people. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. God bless the nations of the world. Thank you very much. Bye.
God bless the nations of the world, except for the fact that I just took a big dump on you. How ridiculous is that? Yeah, there's Smelly. There's all those sycophants.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the United States.
All right. See, I just want to see who's up next. I kind of want to stay with this for a minute, if that's all right with everyone. I'd kind of like to hear any responses that might have come out of that. I know, where are the boos? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of sick of decorum. How about that? Yeah, please have Canada go next. Exactly, Kim. That would be perfect. That's true. Anything from here on out is going to be far easier to listen to. I cannot believe the audacity of his ignorance. The absolute fucking audacity of his ignorance is incredible to me. Incredible. Like, who does that? I mean, I know who does that. This administration does it. But literally, I'm going to say what I said earlier. The United States administration has shifted the center of global power and influence from primarily the United States, or at least shared in part with China, to completely losing whatever perceived or real advantage we might have had. Not that I care about that, you know, I think we should act much more like we're a global partner instead of, you know, bullies. But nonetheless, it is fascinating to me that, yeah, there is no excuse for being stunned by him at this date. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I just, I don't know. I guess I wish I did hear more boos. I don't know. I guess they don't do that. I don't know what the bell ringing is either. Sorry. It's probably like, settle down. Settle down, folks. Hey, I'm like, it's warm today. Ugh. Fascinating. Wow, what a fascinating. That's the. Oh, is this the rapture? Oh, there'll be bells. Na 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 na. There were bells. Wait, a little bell clanks for every saved soul. The whole world is terrified of his retribution, just like here at home. Hi, Lucy's mommy. I can understand that. It has shifted the way that, you know, things happen. What is she doing? Go, ring that bell over there. Hurry. I don't know what she's doing. That's fascinating. The dynamics of this place is very interesting. I was wondering when they changed the carpet. When they, you know, do they replace the carpet very often? Because it looks pretty good. This looks like a church to me, frankly. But anyway, they're probably all gossiping about him. Yes, I agree, Grace Lisa. They probably are. Yeah. But yeah, he's in the back. You know how they have the Oscars and you go off after you win your award and you go talk to the press? He's going to be back there. So I don't know if anything's happening on that, but let me just check and see, just out of curiosity. And I can listen to it on my own. You guys don't have to listen to it. Hold on. All right, they're getting ready to start with the next speech.
Please be seated.
Oh, there is upcoming a bilateral meeting with the Secretary General, I guess. I don't know. So there is some meetings coming up. We'll see. Taking all the free stuff. Yeah, he's actually picking up. He's just taking extra pens from the swag table. Oh, Barron's going to need one of these at NYU. Is he going to NYU? I do like the bells. It reminds me of Catholic. It reminds me of Catholic service. Have they told him it's not called the Nobel Pizza Prize yet? No, shh. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. You over there, sit down. Go over there. Go get that woman with the bell. Tell her to stop ringing it. Yeah, oh, and tonight, I'll just do a programming note quickly before I move on too much. And that is tonight, we are having a documentary. It's at 5 p.m. This is a new time for documentaries. New time for movies. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, etc., outside and inside. And we will have a documentary. I haven't finally chosen it, so I'll put it on socials. But there will be a documentary tonight in Discord. 5 p.m. Pacific, new time, one hand, and
Excellencies,
then we'll go.
could you
Thank you
please
so
take
much.
your seats in due respect to the next speakers?
Oh, I'm glad, Jane. I figured
The
for
second
fall.
row, could you please take your seat right now?
Sam's playing with my phone cord. Don't eat my phone cord. Don't eat my phone cord. Don't eat my phone cord. I'm gonna do this and that. Okay. La 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 la. Sit your ass down. That's right. That's what I would say. Everybody, butts in chairs. No, do that stupid clap. Wait, what is it? Or whatever it is, like, can you hear me? Oh, she's ringing the bell. I think the bell rings almost too much, lady, because then they won't sit down.
Please take a seat now. With due respect to the next speakers, I would kindly ask you, gentlemen in the left row, please take your seats. We will continue.
What the hell? Oh my God, it's mostly men standing up. Sit down. Oh my Lord.
Excellencies, as we are receiving queries, I would like to assure you that don't worry, the UN teleprompters are working perfectly. And by this technical note, I would like to call on the next speaker. The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Prabowo Subianto, President of the Republic of Indonesia. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
I think it might have been.
His Excellency, Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, Her Excellency, Madame Annalena Baerbock, President of the United Nations General Assembly, His Excellency, Mr. Moses Abelian, Under-Secretary General for General Assembly and Management, Excellencies, Heads of States, Heads of Governments, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor for me to stand in this august General Assembly Hall among leaders and representatives who represent almost all of humanity. We differ in race, religion, and nationality, yet we gather together today as one human family. We are here first and foremost as fellow human beings, each created equal, endowed with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The words of the United Nations Declaration of Independence have inspired democratic movements across continents, including the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Mexican Revolution,
Make revolution great
Revolution,
again.
and
right?
Indonesia's own struggle and journey to freedom. It also gave birth to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations in 1948. All men are created equal was the creed that opened the way to unprecedented global prosperity and dignity. And yet, in our own era of scientific and technological triumphs, an era capable of ending hunger, poverty, and environmental ruin, we also continue to face today grave dangers, challenges, and uncertainties. Human folly, fueled by fear, racism, hatred, oppression, and apartheid, threatens our common future.
Oh,
My country knows
really
this pain.
Don't like.
For centuries, Indonesians lived under colonial domination,
Who was that
oppression,
dude between Lula and this guy?
and slavery. We were treated less than dogs in our own homeland. We Indonesians know what it means to be denied justice and what it means to live in apartheid, to live in poverty, and to be denied equal opportunity. We also knew what solidarity can do in our struggle for independence, in our fight to overcome hunger, disease, and poverty. The United Nations stood with Indonesia and gave us vital assistance. Decisions made here based on human solidarity by the Security Council and this Assembly gave Indonesia independence, international legitimacy, opened doors, and supported our early development through the efforts of the United Nations Children's Fund, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, the World Health Organization, and many, many other United Nations institutions. And because of that, Indonesia today stands on the cusp of shared prosperity and greater equality and dignity. Madam President, Excellencies, our world today is driven by conflict, injustice, and deepening uncertainty. Every day we witness suffering, genocide, and blatant disregard for international law and human decency. In the face of these challenges, we must not give up. As the United Nations Secretary General said, we cannot give up. We cannot surrender our hopes or our ideals. We must draw closer, not drift apart. Together we must strive to achieve our hopes, our dreams. The United Nations was born from the ashes of the Second World War that claimed scores of millions of lives. It was created to secure peace, security, justice, and freedom for all. We remain committed to internationalism, to multilateralism, and to every effort that strengthens this great institution.
Please, I don't want her to.
Today, Indonesia is nearer than ever before
give a shit about her.
to
I won't be.
meeting the
We won't be
Sustainable
watching that one.
Development Goals of ending extreme poverty and hunger. Because years ago, this very chamber chose to listen and uphold social and economic justice. We will never forget. And today, we must never
Isn't it?
be
I love
silent
the suit.
while Palestinians are denied that same justice and legitimacy
A really good fit.
in this very
All
hall.
of it perfect fit for today.
Excellencies, Thucydides warned, the strong do what they can, the weak suffer what they must. We must reject this doctrine. The United Nations exist to reject this doctrine. We must stand for all, the strong and the weak.
It's true.
Might cannot be right. Right must be right. Indonesia today is one of the largest contributors to United Peacekeeping Forces. We believe in the United Nations. We will continue to serve where peace needs guardians, not with just words, but with boots on the ground. If and when the United Nations Security Council and this great assembly decide Indonesia is prepared to deploy 20,000 or even more of our sons and daughters to help secure peace in Gaza or elsewhere, in Ukraine, in Sudan,
And fuck Trump.
in
Good
Libya.
night, everybody.
Everywhere when the peace needs to be enforced, peace needs to be guarded, we are ready. We will take our share of the burden, not only with our sons and daughters, we are also willing to contribute financially to support the great mission to achieve peace by the United Nations.
Oh. Love you, Indonesia.
Madam President, Excellencies, I propose to this assembly a message of hope and optimism, grounded in action and execution. Today, we heard the speech of Madam President, the President of the United Nations General Assembly. Yes, it is true what she said. Without the International Civil Aviation Organization, will we be here today? Will we sit in this great hall? Without the United Nations, we cannot be safe. No country can feel secure. We need the United Nations, and Indonesia will continue to support the United Nations. Even though
43% of all
we still
global
struggle,
weapons exports?
but we
Whoa.
know the world needs a strong United Nations. The world's population is growing. Our planet is under
I think you got a
strain.
gifted sub.
Food, energy, and
a
water
minute ago. I can't
insecurity
remember when.
haunt many nations.
Probably was
We
either
choose to
Carrie
answer
or
these challenges directly at
I
home
can't remember who else
and
bought
to help
subs.
abroad wherever we can. This year, Indonesia
I think it was
recorded
probably Carrie.
the highest rice production and grain reserves in our history. We are now self-sufficient in rice, and we are starting now to export rice to other nations in need, including providing rice for Palestine. We are building resilient food supply chains, strengthening farmer productivity, investing in climate-smart agriculture to ensure food security for our children and for the children of the world. We are confident in a few years' time, Indonesia will be the granary of the world. As the world's largest island state, we testify before you that we are already experiencing the direct consequences of climate change, particularly the threat of rising sea levels.
He's
The
about
sea level
to
on the
slap
north
back,
coast
so to
of our
speak.
capital city is increasing by 5 centimeters every year. Can you imagine in 10 years? Can you imagine in 20 years? For this, we are forced to build a giant seawall, 480 kilometers in length. It will take us maybe 20 years, but we have no choice. We have to start now. Therefore, we choose to
Wonder what that
confront
does to their
climate
fishing
change,
industry.
not by slogans, but by immediate steps. We are committed to meeting our 2015 Paris Agreement obligations. We aim to achieve net zero emission by 2060.
This guy's
and
pretty
we are very
cool. I'm
confident
not really familiar
we
with
can
him.
achieve net zero
I'm going to have to look into
emission
him.
much earlier. We aim to reforest more than 12 million hectares of degraded forest, to reduce forest degradation, to empower local communities with quality.
Well,
green
there's
jobs
always
for
a
the future.
downside, isn't there, Max?
Indonesia is
You're
shifting
spamming the chat.
decisively
Is that
from
butter?
fossil
What is
fuel
that?
based development towards
Oh, it's
renewable based
spam.
development.
Oh, I get it.
From next
I
year,
get
most
it.
of our additional power generation capacity will come from renewables. Our goal is clear, to lift all of our citizens out of poverty and make Indonesia a hub for solutions to food, energy, and water security.
Hell
Madam
yeah.
President,
Let's do it.
Excellencies, we
Heck
live
yeah,
in a
I'm
time
digging
when
this guy.
hatred and violence can seem to be the loudest voices. But
Oh, I'm
beneath
really hungry.
this loud
Super
noise
hungry.
lies a quieter truth that every person longs to be safe, to be respected, to be loved, and to leave a better world to their children.
All right, so they got some work to do.
Our children are watching. They are learning leadership, not from textbook, but from our choices. Today, still, a catastrophic situation in Gaza is unfolding before our eyes. At this very moment, the innocent are crying for help, are crying to be saved. Who will save them? Who will save the innocent? Who will save the old
I don't
and
think
women?
I'm a member. I should be.
Millions are facing danger at this
That's
very moment.
not bad.
As
I
we
used to
sit
like
here,
me some Denny's once in a
they
while.
are facing trauma. They are facing irreparable damage to their bodies. They are dying.
Well, that's a good law.
of
Okay,
starvation.
it should be. Don't touch me.
Can we remain silent? Will there be no answer to their screams? Will we teach them that the human family can rise to the challenge? Madam President, we must act now. Many speakers have said that. We must stand for a multilateral order where peace, prosperity, and progress are not the privilege of a few, but the right of all. With a strong United Nations, we can build a world where the weak do not suffer what they must, but live the justice that they deserve. Let us continue humanity's great journey of ideals, the selfless aspirations that created the United Nations. Let us use science to uplift, not use science to destroy. Let rising nations help others to lift themselves. I am convinced that the leaders of the great world civilizations of the West, of the East, of the North, of the South, leaders of America, Europe, of India, China, the Islamic world,
I don't know.
the whole world.
It's going to come with a catch, Mr. Spock. So
to their role
Gary,
demanded
like
by
deposition.
history.
Fuck yeah.
We are all hopeful that the leaders of the
ANTIFA.
world will show great statesmanship, great wisdom, restraint,
Yum, Kim. Yum.
humility, overcome hate, overcome suspicion. Madam President, distinguished delegates, we are greatly heartened by the events of the last few days,
Oh my God.
where significant leading countries of the world have chosen to side with history, to choose the right side of history, the path of the moral high ground, the path of rectitude, the path of justice, the path of humanity, to shun hatred, to overcome suspicion, and to avoid
Hell yeah,
the use
Mr. Spock.
of violence.
I like your style.
The use of violence will beget violence. No one country can
All right,
bully
so it's a bad.
the
Okay, all right,
whole
you guys.
community of the
Indonesia has a lot
human
of work to
family.
do. I get it. You're right. You're right. No, I'm not going to buy Kamala's book. I don't share
We
the
may be
same
weak
affection for
individually,
her, but you know, I respect
the
your
sense of oppression, the sense of injustice
your
has proven in the history of
approval
mankind
or
that
support
this sense
of her
of injustice, this sense of oppression will unite into a strong force that will overcome this oppression, that will overcome this injustice. To close, I would like to reiterate again Indonesia's complete support for the two-state solution in Palestine.
Now he's getting clapping during his.
We must have an independent Palestine, but we must also recognize, we must also respect, and we must also guarantee
Oh, okay.
the
So
safety
sorry.
and
Yeah,
security
no,
of Israel.
I'm not.
Only then we can have real peace, and no longer hate and no longer suspicion. The only solution is this two-state solution. Two descendants of Abraham must live in reconciliation, peace, and harmony.
Wow.
Arabs, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, all religions, we must live as one human family.
Oh.
Indonesia is committed to being part of making this vision a reality. Is this a dream? Maybe, but this is the beautiful dream that we must work together towards. Let us work towards this noble goal. Let us continue humanity's journey of hope, a journey started by our forefathers, a journey that we must complete. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom. Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you very much.
Oh.
May God bless us all. May peace be upon us. Thank you very much.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Thank you. On behalf of the
Wow.
Assembly, I wish to
Wow.
thank the President of the Republic of Indonesia.
Well, it certainly was an F Trump in its essence of we're going to be in love. We're going to be love. We're not going to be
The
hate.
Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of the Republic of Turkey. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
What does Erdogan have to say? What's up with Erdogan? Yeah, no, apparently Indonesia isn't as a free society. Fuck Erdogan, that's for sure. Fucking ass. Oh, he looks a little frail. How old is Erdogan? How old is he? Sure. Yeah, screw him. Let's see. Let me see if we can find... Actually, we can go ahead
Excellency, President of UNGA. Excellency.
We don't have to listen to him. We know what he's going to say. Everybody, listen to me and don't listen to those other people. And I don't know. I don't know what else he's going to say, but it could be something. Another dictator. Really, screw him. Yeah. Did you guys want to listen to that? I'm so sorry. If you want to listen to it, I'm totally into putting it back on. I was just gonna spare you another an additional speech. But I can definitely. I was waiting for the White House to do their bilateral thing, but I don't think they're doing. I don't know when that's happening. I'm not sure when that's going to start. Oh my goodness gracious! I would love to go to Turkey. I would love that. I know. I like the fire too. I like the fire too. I know. We don't have to do everything all at once, right? That's not the way life is. We don't have to do that. Do that. It's not the way it has to be. Also, oh my god, I had my mind blown the other night, and you guys are probably gonna laugh at me because this is probably stuff that you already knew and were already incorporating into your lives, but I seem to be today years old when I learned, kind of thing. I was listening to someone on a podcast the other day talking about you know, Arab countries and da 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 da. And she said this thing that actually really woke me up, in the moment. And she said, the term itself, Middle East, implies that those countries are in the middle of something, namely England and India, I think is the provenance that she was talking about. And I was like, oh my God. So she's like, that language is colonial language, right? Referring to it as the Middle East is a colonial reference because those countries aren't in the middle of anything. We're on a fucking ball, you know? So again, I'm sure that other people already kind of caught into this this movement or this understanding rather. But I really was like, wow. I don't know what the preferred term is. I didn't get that far into. I don't think she really referred to except for referencing the individual countries. So I await to learn more. But it also just woke me up that, oh my gosh, and I do believe language matters. I understand there are people like, I get to say whatever I want. And I'm like, I just don't believe that because I think words have meaning to people and the meaning to some people can be very aggressive and hurtful and, steeped in real generational trauma. And those things are real. So, yeah, the individual countries are also artifacts of colonialism. Exactly. Yeah. So I understand that, but it just made me think and it made me think about this kind of simple concept of language and that language does matter. And there's a lot for us to revisit and that, that too. So I don't know. It just made me think. I'm sure that other people have recognized this quite a bit sooner than me. Jren says Kudazi and Ephesus. I'm not really saying that, but I want to go back and see Istanbul and Cappadocia. Oh yeah, I've heard it's just an incredibly beautiful country. Incredibly beautiful. Oh, the old Turk. Yes. No, I mean, I think there's just such a beautiful history. So, Ephesus. Thank you, Ephesus. Yeah. It does. It matters, right? Like it matters. And it doesn't have to matter to you. I mean, this is the thing. If you put yourself as the center of everything and look at it from the perspective of how does it impact me, well then you're going to end up missing the point, which is you really need to think about how do words impact other people? And can I be thoughtful about that? That's pretty simple stuff. And I would pretty much guarantee that if there was a Jesus, that he'd be into that, or she'd be into that, or they'd be into that. You know? So, anyway, that's just my high thought of the day, I guess. But yeah. Fairy tale. Like I remember the quality of the film, and I don't know if were those like 8mm films, I guess. I guess they were. So do join me tonight for the documentary TBD. Sorry I don't have it ready. I'm a little slow these days. But I appreciate you. And I didn't tell you guys. So yesterday when when I ended the live stream yesterday, I had offered to take all the signs, right? You know, they had that big Epstein sign and stuff. I don't know if you saw the protest, but there were quite a number of signs. Anyway, so I offered to take them because the other ladies were on public transit and I was going to go home in an Uber. So I offered to take them. So I left after everybody else left, and it was me standing there alone in my fuck Trump, fuck ICE, free Palestine shirt and gathering my signs, which were unwieldy. And I got surrounded. Even my Uber driver who pulled up, he was watching. And he said, you got surrounded by, and it was a bunch of young men, like high school age, I think, who were in Orthodox vestiges, of Jewish, the yarmulke and the just the vestiges that identify them with that. And they surrounded me. And they were saying, where's the protest? Where's the protest? We came to protest. And I said, well, everyone left, they'd spent time here and then they're leaving. I said, but you can go ahead and protest. And then I realized that they had surrounded me, and I realized they wanted to fight. They wanted to fight me. So, but my Uber had pulled up, so I did need to honor that commitment and get into my Uber. So I just kind of giggled and like walked off, like left them standing there looking like idiots. But the guy, when I got in the Uber, the guy's like, those guys surrounded you. About Palestine. These are some of the same, it's about Palestine. These are some of the same clad, I don't think these children specifically, but I think that there have been youth clad in the same vestiges, I should say, not necessarily these folks, who have shown up and become violent at pro-Palestinian events here in Los Angeles. So they're it's a bit notorious. Vestiments, yes, thank you, vestiments. I'm saying the wrong thing. I don't even know how to describe it. But just to say that there's a distinctive, set of clothing, right? I guess that identifies that affiliation. So anyway, it was just interesting. I was not scared, obviously. I mean, if they want to have it, I guess Hasidic. I'm not really sure. I shouldn't say because I really don't know. I don't know enough to say, but I just know that it is a recognizable. And there was about 7 of them, I think. And they were definitely, I think they must have been in high school. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to tell how old people are. But, and I didn't spend that much time with them. So, I want to say, you're not going to like me, but I don't want to leave you yet because I just saw Bitch Kitten came on. Hold on. Oh, actually, it just ended. Oh my God. Okay. Well, never mind. They came on with Gutierrez and Trump and they said 2 things and then they went away. Okay, great, no problem. I don't know what that was all about. Yeah, I know. I just happened to be getting out and I really did have to get in my Uber, so I couldn't have an extended conversation with them. But, it's just like, well, go ahead. If you want to protest, go ahead and I don't know what you're protesting, but go ahead and protest. You're free to do that. So I don't know. But they were just looking to argue, I think. And that's, that happens. That happens. But not yesterday because Mama had to go. But a little intimidating. I know, and I have it in my house. It's so beautiful. The guy who painted it, I talked to him. It was like so amazing. But I'm gonna meet up with those folks at the next protest whenever, which I'm sure will happen. Oh, if nothing else, I'm gonna until Lula laugh posted in the disco. I'm gonna go to this weekend. The Tyrant Diner protest at the Tesla Diner in Hollywood. So I'm gonna go there. This is really beautiful artwork. Oh my god. I gotta take like a really decent picture of this and put it online because this is really a beautiful piece of art. So talented. Everybody's talented. Anyway, so that'll happen. That actually is at the same time as our movie, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. I don't really know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I'll definitely get a nice picture of this because it's really, really pretty. Anyway, well, I think that's enough for today. I think I've taken enough of your wonderful time this morning. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your support. Thank you so much for all your support. Yesterday's video got like 17,000 views. So we did a great job of getting the word out, or at least being exposed to people. I really appreciate all that support because I think when we do certain things, we're able to attract a little attention. That one is at the same time as our movie is supposed to be on Saturday, 5 p.m. local here in Pacific to 8 p.m. So yeah, I know. We got 17,000 views. Let me see what it's up to because I haven't checked it. Hold on. And that was with subs on, which I'm sorry I don't do that all the time. I should do that. I'm going to remember to do that next time so that we don't get all the riffraff in there. Because yesterday after we had subs on, it was much nicer. Like I didn't really notice anybody doing anything. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Man, I don't even know where to look at everything. Okay, wait. That's not. Oh, here we go. Yeah, 17,098 views on yesterday's stream. 9,000 on Saturdays. So it's that vertical, man. It's that vertical. Oh, it might be. I don't know. It's updated differently in different places. I don't know how YouTube works. I'm looking at my studio right now just to see, but yeah. So we're get that word out. That's all it is. I just want the word out. I don't care. I don't care what happens. I don't care who they watch. I don't care. I just want the word out. Did you see where the Secret Service disrupted a huge communication jamming operation in NYC? No, I didn't see that. Oh my God, Jim. Scary. Can we trust the Secret Service anymore? I don't trust any of the government agencies anymore. I don't trust any of them. It's crazy. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow morning. Definitely. Hopefully you can join me. And there's no Senate or House stuff this week, so we may have a chance to get caught up on that reading that we've been meaning to get caught up on. Hello. Thank you very much. Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I have heard the network described differently, potentially. What network? Don't leave me hanging. We still live? My internet was timed out. What happened with the signs? Oh, I have the signs. I have them. Did you, yeah. Oh, sorry, Jane. The network described it. What's the network? Cannot evaluate for want of info and expertise. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But anyway. Oh, the telecommunications disruption network. What happened? Yeah, what happened? I'm going to have to look into that. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I adore you people. I adore you humans. Oh, the rapture's coming. Okay, cool. All right. Well, then I think I'll have some nachos. I think I'll have some extra cheese on my nachos since it's going to be the rapture. I mean, if it's your time, it's your time. I love you guys. I am going to have a nap. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Yeah, get a nap in before the rapture. All right, guys, take care. I think you're amazing. Have a good Tuesday, and I'll see you tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, hopefully. Bye.